authority. That's the people involved. It's not an authority appeal.
Yeah, if the people
you don't know what an authority appeal
funded
is.
them is an authority for the definition of feminism.
I gave the people involved, like Abby Rockefeller,
that
who
would
was
be an
herself.
authority.
No, it's not.
Then why are you citing them?
It's a person who's in the movement. It's not just the funder.
Yeah, you're appealing to authority.
You don't know what an appeal to. That's a fact. It's not an appeal to authority. You don't know what an appeal to authority is. You are citing them this is so
for
silly.
a definition of feminism.
Yeah, that's not an appeal to authority.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
you don't know what an appeal to authority. If I said my position is true because I cite the Rockefellers, that would be an appeal to authority, and
You're
that's a fallacy.
This definition
is an evidence,
true
goofus.
because of the Rockefellers. If you want,
no, I'm not. I'm telling you the history of the movement, which you don't even know about.
I've asked you to define feminism, and now
I'm giving you the history of that movement, which is three waves. Are there three waves of feminism?
Why can't you give me a definition?
Are there three waves of feminism?
There's four.
Okay, so there's three.
Oh, you didn't know that? That's crazy.
So there are three, correct?
There's four.
Right, but that would mean there's also three, even though there's a fourth, right?
That's true. Three is less.
I love this clip.
You like this?
I'm already going to have an aneurysm right now.
3 is less than 4. I love this.
Yes.
I immediately thought.
4. I don't know if you
I
knew
immediately
that.
thought we should tell him that the deficit is $5, right, and see how he responds.
Oh yeah, it's $5. I mean, I didn't say it was only $5, but you agree that there's $5.
There is $5 in the deficit, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's very. I mean, everyone watching knows it was just he made a mistake and didn't want to acknowledge it, so he
Didn't
just
want
said,
to
well,
cop
heck,
to
you
it.
know, you don't want to cop to the mistake. So because he said there's three. He didn't say there's at least 3 waves. He said there's 3 waves of feminism. So that means there's only 3. So
yes.
Yeah, he's in the debate bro brain where you can't even give up the most honest, obvious take or position from on the other side because it make you look weird or weak. It's like, hey man, is the sky blue? Well, no. Sometimes it's green. Sometimes it's orange.
Sometimes it's red. Sometimes it's black at night. How dare you say it's blue? Yeah, this whole conversation. I only watched like the first part of it, but it very quickly breaks down into just. We can't, because what they're arguing right now is they can't even agree on what the definition of feminism is. And Nazi Erudite is basically saying, well, give me a definition and I'll just use your definition. And they can't even, I guess we can't even get whatever his definition is. And I don't know I don't know why people like watching these debates where one person is like completely not engaged in trying to actually get to the concept. And the entire conversation is either hyper fixated on like, the meta conversation of what conversations and words are, or you just get bogged down and like no one could ever agree to a definition because you keep feeling like every definition is like a trap. So I can't agree to anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I'm here for the shit show. I'm here for the people yelling at one another, screaming at each other. This is great.
And you come to the right place.
So Dev is with us, short fat otaku. How you doing, Dev? You asked us how we were doing at the beginning, but we wanted to get the show started. So
we said no.
We can do the pleasantries now. How you doing, Dev? How's the channel going?
Well,
did Dev leave? What happened? Dev,
you can
come
still
back.
Hear me, right? You can still hear me, right?
Yeah,
yes,
but there was
there was a pause.
That was a pregnant pause, as they say.
Yes. So I mean, ever since I've been making the anti-Trump content, because I think Trump's kind of insane nowadays. Mm-hmm. He's not the way he was in 2016. He's not the fun memester anymore. Things are kind of more serious now. And I have definitely seen a decline in the channel. You know, everyone's noticed the sub loss. I've probably lost about 20% of views in total, so it's not a big hit. People think that I'm doomed. I don't think I'm doomed. But I am noticing that there's been a decline in the channel. But more importantly, though, is like there was some IRL stuff, some medical stuff that happened that I was just off the internet for like 2 months.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm kind of behind on I'm kind of behind on everything.
Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind on all the dramas and all the things. No, things actually aren't okay, but that's not the topic of today's discussion.
Oh, okay. Well, nice. Just drop that bomb on us. I mean, I have to ask, you're going to live, right? I mean, you're
yes.
Okay. That's the important thing we want to know.
But basically, I'm only just now catching up on everything. I'm like maybe about 2 months behind in all the cycles. So like I think last week Rags, and you guys know who Rags is.
Yeah,
He
of
poked
course.
me and he was like, "Listen, Dev, you need to. I know that you're behind and everything, and you've been offline. You need to go see what Destiny's been doing with regards to this lawsuit." And I'm like, "Okay, I've heard of a lawsuit, but I don't quite know the details." And it's like, I just started looking into that, and I'm like, "Oh my God, there's that's a fucked situation."
Oh,
And
the
like,
Pixie lawsuit.
yeah, and I
Yeah, yeah,
haven't
yeah.
even gotten caught up on the Ethan Klein, iDubbbz, Hassan
Oh
shit
my
yet.
God.
I'm so far behind on everything, man.
Listen, it's all just drama. Who doesn't matter? Because then in another week there'll be a completely new story, completely new news cycle to just worry about. You don't need all this drama. You don't need all this old stuff. Something to catch up
Hassan was
on.
featured on the Daily Show. Did you see that, Sitch?
I
Which
did see that. It
I
was
like. I'm
disgusting.
literally in hell.
It's
Was he
horrifying.
actually?
Hell.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well,
he's going.
did you know about
He's going mainstream.
Did you know about the stupid immigration story? Are you aware of this? The Hassan getting
I do.
stopped by immigration.
No, I didn't know that. What's going on
Okay.
here? What's this?
So the day, I guess it was yesterday, day before yesterday.
Look, he can look it up. We shouldn't cover that again.
Well, no, but I just want to talk about it in terms of the Daily Show thing.
Okay. Okay.
Because we did talk about this and watch some of his stuff the other day. A few days ago, Hassan was coming back from Paris. He was taking his mother to Paris for Mother's Day. That was funny because he actually flew back on Mother's Day, but whatever. So he gets stopped by the border people, like customs and border, and they basically talk to him. Now, I think it was actually Destiny or some internet autistic person tried to do some internet autism to discover that he'd only been stopped for more like about an hour. I think a little bit more than an hour.
Oh,
and then
nice. Okay, so
even
there's an
though
update.
Right. So Hassan's been going around telling everyone that he was like accosted and like in an interview with the border people for like 2 hours. When in reality, the entire process of him being stopped was basically 1 hour. So obviously he's, exaggerating, hyperbolizing the whole thing. But he basically gets stopped and they ask him a couple questions about, who he is and what his channel is and all this other stuff. So Hassan comes out and he makes this big deal about it. So literally, like every fucking mainstream news outlet is all over here, like the Trump administration is stopping left-wing streamers from entering the country, and then like the Daily Show's like talking about him, and they're all fluffing him, and it's like really disgusting because they're all trying to. There's definitely a media blitz. I don't know, like they're all doing it in conjunction because even before that, there was a media blitz from all the mainstream news and left-wing news outlets to basically promote Hassan as like the Joe Rogan of the left. And they keep,
oh my God,
like, it's so weird. It's so strange to watch a narrative form where like someone says something in a specific way and then all the other news outlets repeat it. And so the way they were saying it with Hassan is this weird, like, well, he's like a super lefty socialist progressive. Some of them don't say, most of them don't say socialist. They say it's like progressive. He's a progressive, but he's like goes to the gym and is buff. So he's like hot. And so he's got like a MAGA body, which was very weird.
If you're
That's what
hot,
the New
you
York
have a
Times said.
MAGA body. Look
Yeah,
at
it was
that.
very strange. That's what the New York
Are
Times
they
said.
actually trying to bring back like working out as right wing? Are they doing that?
Yes.
Oh
They're
my
like,
fucking God.
he appealed because they're trying. The thought process is like Joe Rogan, works out and he appeals to guys because I guess he's buff. Like that's a very superficial level of analysis. And so they're like, well, then Hassan, he must appeal to the children too because he's like also works out.
That's so dumb. Man, I recall maybe a year ago kind of digging into that idea, the whole working out is right wing. And like as I dug down and I was reading posts by, left wing retards on Twitter, and I was reading like I went on a binge of reading some anarchist literature in the past year or so. And basically what I've kind of discovered is that they view just the concept of a standard, like whether it be like a social standard or a governmental standard or a cultural standard, as being right wing and fascist. So that's why strength is fascist, and having like a taste in art is fascist, or like having any sort of boundary where you say, I prefer A over B. They boil it down to fascism. That's why everything's fucking fascism.
So the girl boss is fascist then?
Strength is
strength is fascism. Interesting.
Well, maybe because she's using it to subvert the system,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
She's
so
using it for
more
the
of
Sure.
this.
Feel free to pause whenever you like, Dev. You too, Sitch.
Sure.
But you know
Okay.
the
Sure
routine.
thing. I mean, it's good to talk to you guys again, though. It's been a while, so.
Yes.
And like I think I didn't talk to you since before the medical stuff in January. So it feels like it's been years since I've talked to anybody. So it's good to see you guys again.
We love you,
We
Dad.
want to hear more about the TDS channel breakdown too.
Oh, do you?
Of course. Well, let's watch a little bit of this first.
Sure, go
less
ahead.
than 4.
I
Good
know
job,
that,
Jay.
but the fact that there's 4, there's still 3 that have happened, right?
Irrelevant to anything
Irrelevant.
modern.
Just real quick, are we starting in the middle of this? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. We
not gonna watch
can
this
only
whole
stream
thing.
for a few hours, so we jump to the good
shit.
parts.
Okay, fair enough.
What do you think? What you want us to do the boring intro? Come on.
We got to do the whole. Listen, we got to pull a long man on this. Do the whole thing.
No.
We do short
You gotta be
streams during the week, so
Right,
we do long
yeah.
streams on Sunday.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Feminism.
Is that an appeal to authority?
What authority am I citing right now? I know
Well, you're
really,
citing facts that you think are appeal
Which
to
authority have I cited? Name one. Name one authority I've cited, Jay.
You think-
Go. Name one authority I've
You
cited.
don't understand.
Jay,
what,
name
I'm
one
making a
authority I've
joke.
cited.
I'm making a joke because
What's
you
the
think
authority I cited?
appealing to a fact is appeal to authority. Those are
That
two
is
different
not
things.
joke,
true.
though.
In
Yes, it
fact,
is.
when you were citing
I talk
Rockefeller,
about-
when you're
listen.
citing
No. See, he's like, you appeal to authority. And she's like, what authority? And then he realized that she didn't appeal to authority. And he's like, well, no, I was making a joke because you said I appealed to an authority when I wasn't. So, haha,
But he-
gotcha.
well, I mean, first he did appeal to an authority, but
I know.
in the intro clip. But secondly, I have noticed that everything is simultaneous. It's like Schrodinger's joke. It's a joke and it's not, depending on how it goes over. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Like, oh,
Depending
yeah,
upon
that-
the reaction.
Yeah, that has kind of been the political landscape, at least on the right wing, for the past 6 months, and it's fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
Yes, it's well, we live in the JREG post irony world where you can just always be in this constant state of like, are you being serious or not? It's always just like a defense mechanism. So
Yeah, for
Terrible.
sure, for sure. Even it even goes all the way up to Trump, because Trump will say things and he'll be like, "Oh, well, I was just trolling or I was just joking." Like, obviously, the fake news, and it's like, come on, man.
what was the thing that he said?
January 6th was a troll. You didn't know that, Jeff?
No.
January
Yeah, that makes
6th,
sense.
we were all just joking.
Oh, it was the bleach thing because I remember he got so.
Oh, yeah,
I
the
remember Scott
bleach.
Adams got so mad about that because like there's the whole did Trump say to put bleach in the body, and Scott Adams was like this huge advocate. He was talking about light and all this other stuff, and he'd been doing so much work to debunk the bleach hoax as he calls it. And then when they asked Trump the question, he's like, "I was joking."
I was
He
being
didn't even say it.
sarcastic.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
like,
God.
he doesn't even say like, "Oh, I was talking about the light treatment." He's like, "No, I was joking." I remember Scott Adams was so bad. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, and of course, when it flows the other way, of course they take everything with the most deathly seriousness. It's like, no, he actually meant it because it makes my position look better. It's like, oh God, I'm so tired of politics, guys.
Well,
You
it's
have no idea.
it's interesting because it's unfortunate, but like it sort of behooves people who are politicians or pundits or whoever to kind of always say things in a somewhat jokey manner because then it provides some reasonable level of cover of the joke. Or if it's someone like if Nancy Pelosi, who's not really known for like joking, is like, "Well, I was just joking," you'd be like, "Well, I don't believe that because she doesn't really have that like history." Where Trump, he can like sort of muddy the water because he does have a history of joking around and being kind of hyperbolic in his speech.
Yes, that's true. It's also, I think, quite dangerous when
It
it's
can be,
actually something
sure.
serious. Yeah.
Sure.
Rockefeller
so stupid.
as the definition for feminism.
No,
I'm
the
saying you're appealing
funder
to
is not
authority.
the definition, you idiot.
Then why are you appealing to them in any way?
to prove the history of the movement
Do you know what
and
an
what
appeal
it
to authority
teaches.
fallacy is? Bravo,
Yes,
do you know what an
I
appeal
just
to
gave you the
authority fallacy
example.
is? Okay.
I've been debating for 25 years. I know what the appeal to authority is. That's one right there.
Okay, so
See,
when
that's
you
the appeal to authority
when you
fallacy.
appeal to irrelevant people,
I'm having flashbacks of my debate with Vosh. I never dated
Whoa,
Vosh, just so you
whoa.
know.
You
Freudian
dated Vosh.
slip
Oh
there.
my God.
Freudian slip.
I know that was
Okay.
terrible.
Wh-
Yeah,
which one of you
when
guys
I
wore the
debated
horse costume?
Vosh, he didn't know what well, actually, no, it was a Sargon debate with Vosh, wasn't it? When he didn't know what an appeal to authority was. I remember now. It was Sargon's debate with him
Yes.
after my debate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Ooh.
also the real problem with the appeal to authority fallacy is that you have to also show how the authority is incorrect, like how it's inappropriate, because
Right,
sometimes
yes.
it's actually completely appropriate to appeal to an authority.
Of course.
You're always appealing to the facts. You're just saying that the authority has a better understanding of the facts, but the underlying facts are what you're appealing to.
Well, that's why-
Obviously, if it's a empiricist paradigm.
This is like such a weird thing because you're right. Like Jay Dreyer, who I'm unfamiliar with, he should just be like, well, it's not an appeal to authority fallacy to say that I'm basing my definition off of someone who he's claiming is like a progenitor of the term. That would be an
Right.
appropriate appeal to authority. I don't know why he
Sure.
doesn't just say that.
Because he's triggered.
Oh, okay.
That's what's so funny about this.
That's what makes sense.
That's what's so funny
Is
about
it-
this.
I don't know if it's like Destiny's community like brigade in the comments or something, but I looked at the comments because this is on the whatever podcast, and it seems like overwhelmingly the comments are against Jay here. So maybe his performance was just so bad that even the whatever audience was like, okay, this is pretty shitty.
It's probably Destiny, though. Obviously, Not So Erudite and Destiny are very good friends. So
Right.
co-workers, maybe more. Who knows?
Okay. Terrible.
I am pretty sure that they're not anything more than coworkers.
Okay. Dev says that.
Listen,
but-
we're having fun speculating here. We're just joking. Okay. We're just joking.
Oh,
I brought
Hold
this
on.
up. bef-
I'm appealing to my own authority here and saying that he's not.
Okay.
I brought this. Well, do you know? Do you have firsthand evidence of this? Or are you appealing to authority here, the authority of Destiny?
Well, no. I'm also friends with Erudite, and I'm pretty sure
okay.
that her and Destiny haven't no, they're not like that. No,
Pretty sure, huh? Which
Yep.
means you leave the open the
it could
possibility.
be.
Before, do you want to comment on the wardrobe choice here, Dev? We've talked a little bit about it before the stream.
Well, she always dresses this way, doesn't she? I'm pretty sure.
Does she? Okay.
Yeah.
So this
She
is
always
just the
does.
normal.
She always does kind of like the 2000s era emo girl look, which is fine. I mean, that's cool.
Whatever
it's kind of-
podcast, the format of whatever podcast is to have some sanctimonious male beating up on a feminist who is dressed with a lot of cleavage. So she basically came in here and played her part. And I was thinking if she came in here and embraced the TradCon aesthetic, she probably would do way better.
Maybe. I mean, I think she did that when she was on Fresh and Fit. She kind of like
She did the
dressed more
TradCon
conservatively.
thing? Really? Oh.
Yeah, she dressed more conservatively when she was on Fresh and Fit.
Yeah, if she came in here and did the TradCon thing, especially with his debate performance being very lackluster.
That sound
It's
authority
not
but
irrelevant.
aren't relevant. The history
Do you know
of
why?
feminism
Do you
isn't
wanna-
relevant to you giving me a definition of feminism
is.
that I can operate
Is it
off
a
of.
historical movement?
Can you give me a
Is it a
fucking
historical
definition?
movement?
Oh my god.
Yeah, of course.
Then the history is relevant to the definition, you idiot.
Then give me the definition. You can do it,
Let's keep
Jay.
it nice if we can.
Oh my
You can do it,
gosh.
Jay. I
Maybe
believe
this
in
is
you.
like talking to a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Well, you're a big boy, so this should be really easy for you to find feminism. Go ahead.
Feminism is a historical movement that's concerned with the rights of women, including egalitarianism, the idea that women and men are equal. If we go back to Wollstonecraft, if we go back to the suffrage movement, if we go back to the notion of women not being married at certain ages as children. So the first wave wanted not just suffragism, but they also wanted to not have child brides and that kind of stuff.
I'm really proud of you. You got
But they
two
also
things.
listen.
One more.
I'm not.
We're-
Shut up.
We're super
Shut
close.
up and let me finish.
We're
I'm
super
not
close.
done.
Yeah, I
I'm
believe
not
you.
done. They also
believe you. I know you're not.
wanted.
What's up with these debate tactics? You shut up, fuck off, debate tactics. So bad.
I'm not done.
Better work hours. They wanted women to have inheritance rights. They wanted women to be able to
Okay, so
get
labor
jobs
rights.
and they wanted women in the workforce and to be in positions that they didn't have. So they wanted certain social rights
Okay,
that
so they
women
want-
did, like voting, right? Suffrage, right? Those are all first wave.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
This is your definition of feminism? Okay, I'm
Are
writing
you-
it down.
are you serious?
I'm so dumb.
You
I'm
asked
even
for
writing
the
it down
history
for
of it.
I
You-
didn't ask you for the history. I
did-
asked you for a
You
definition.
said that it's historical.
Okay,
And I'm
rights
giving
of
you the
women,
movements.
I'm not.
She did clearly ask him for just a definition. He was the one saying he couldn't
know.
he couldn't give a definition that was removed from the historical context.
Well,
He's
it's-
going
it's-
into the historical context just so he can make that point.
It's weird because the whole from this whole debate from the beginning is the debate topic was, is feminism good or bad? I don't know how you enter that debate without a very
Clear, yeah.
clear, like one sentence, two sentence. Okay, this is the definition of feminism I'm going to be operating off of from the debate perspective. That you have to be like, well, let me explain every wave of feminism. It's like, okay, but like, what wave are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not
Man,
sure I'm an expert on the waves. I think isn't 3 equality and 4 equity, and that's the big distinction there?
Well, 4 was
Kinda, yeah.
intersectionalism. I don't know. I don't know exactly what 3 was, but
Oh, okay. 4 is
Well,
intersectionalism.
third was like third wave feminism was kind of where the TERFs came from. They were also around in the second wave as well. But like, yeah, first wave was, very broadly speaking.
Oh, okay, you're right.
First wave was voting rights. Second wave was right to be able to like work and basically work the same jobs that men work, which they didn't. They had the legal right for that, but it just wasn't socially acceptable. And then third wave is kind of more like the beginnings of online stuff and like sexual revolution stuff, and a bit more TERF stuff. And then fourth wave is like trans inclusionary stuff.
Okay, that's a good distinction there.
actually, I think I was incorrect. I was saying third wave feminism was intersectionality, and then fourth wave feminism is just like essentially a more extreme, like it's just going in a more extreme direction as the third wave feminism is, but like using social media and the internet to basically propagandize people.
I thought fourth wave
Yeah.
was demanding equal numbers of women in positions of power. That's kind of the difference, where third wave was equal opportunity and the roles will fall wherever they may by people's interest.
That's definitely part of it. It seems like when I'm kind of like reading about it, fourth wave feminism is a lot more vague, where like first, second, third seem to be more clearly defined and specific. Now I don't know if that's just because like whenever you're in the wave, it's more vague, and then it's easier for like historians to look backwards and be like,
Yeah,
oh, this is
yeah.
what the defining movement or the defining feature of the movement is.
It's something like third wave feminism. If we're speaking very broadly, third wave feminism is going to be like the sexual revolution. Birth control. Women can sleep around and not be considered a slut. And then as a reaction to that, the fourth wave was like, hold on, Me Too movement. Now we have guys in power exploiting the new sexual openness that came about as a result of the third wave.
I think of the fourth as representation, and I ultimately think it's unfair because obviously men will be more competitive for positions of authority and power, and women will be less competitive because they are not necessarily interested in occupying those roles. Some are, obviously, but if you have 5% of the female population competing for those roles and they're guaranteed to get 50% of those roles, oh my God, it's a cakewalk for them, right? And if you have 100% of the male population competing for those roles, well, it's probably not 100%, right? But 80%, right? Guys, they want these roles that obviously give them some sort of authority. Then it's super competitive for the guys. It's completely unfair. Society's been structured in a way that's unfair for men. So fuck that.
100%.
Asking for the history. I'm asking
You
you to,
said it is historical, so I have to go back to the people.
No,
You're so dumb that you can't conceive of a position apart from the people who came up with the position.
So Israel. I can define Israel without
What does this
going
have to
through
do-
the entire history of Israel. Feminism, while it
No, you-
does
Look, she's spelling it out.
He said no. He said no. You can't.
Listen,
what do you
before I can
read?
tell you what Israel is, we got to talk over the entire history,
Yes.
the Bible, and then the Ottomans and all the,
Yes.
all the Muslim
What do you
shit.
read?
And we
What
got
is
go
this?
through all of it.
Oh my God, this is going to be 10 hours long, this debate.
Look at the host.
Oh,
He's
oh
got,
my God, that's so
he's
good.
got the pure face palm.
That's so good.
Oh my God.
That should be a meme. That is
This
a face
is-
palm.
This is like look. This is an artwork piece right here. Okay.
What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
You
Watch,
both said
I'll
you'd be
do something-
nice.
Yes.
Came up with
Watch,
the
watch, watch.
position.
So Israel. I can define Israel
What
without
does this
going
have to
through
do-
the entire history of Israel. Feminism, while it
No, you
does
can't.
have,
Actually,
yes,
you
of
can't.
course you can.
No,
because
this
for
is
the
so
sake
silly
of conversation,
because you
we have to
admitted it's
agree
a
what
historical
construct is.
movement. Therefore, it can't be divorced from the people in history.
I'm not asking
Do you
to
think it
divorce
came
it.
out of the sky?
You're
Did it
again,
come into
this is a
people's
false
minds out of the
dichotomy.
sky
This
or
is a
from the
false
people?
dichotomy. You're doing a false dichotomy again.
What are you, dude? You don't
You're
even.
you're
this is
acting
so
like
crazy.
you're acting like you can't define it without the history. I'm telling you.
Correct. It's a historical movement by your own definition.
That doesn't mean that you can't make a definition for the word,
Yes,
so
you
we
have
can
to
just
go to
talk
the
about
people.
it.
Okay, just real quick. I don't know if the audience here can see how far we are in the video. This is 45 minutes of this debate, and they still haven't defined what they're talking about yet. Like
Yes.
the
Yes.
first 45 minutes, those have to have been fucking cancerous.
Oh yeah.
No, they were actually the first like 20 minutes are like, kind of boring, and then it just like goes off the rails at, like the 30-minute mark.
It
But
explodes.
this, I'm glad that Zero Fucks reminded me of this on X. I came up with this term, I don't know, it was like a year, 2 years ago, called debate locked, where like someone says something in the heat of a moment of a debate, and then because they're so like emotional or triggered, they just can't be like, oh, well, maybe I misphrased that, or, let's move past that or something. They just like defend it forever. And I think that's what happened
exactly
here.
what's going on
Is
here.
like
You know what?
he got debate locked about this like definition of feminism to this absurd like historical movement concept, and he just can't move beyond it.
That's
All
actually
definitions are tied to history now. He's going to debate it to the end.
Yes.
the term debate locked is actually really useful. It's the first time I've heard that. That's a really good term.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure if we all thought about this, probably a time or two over the years, we've probably all done this at least once or twice. It's like an understandable human thing to do.
Of course.
But
it happens a lot, I think, in most internet debates.
Yeah. Most internet debates are over status, not really truth.
yeah.
Where do you think words come from?
Oh, sorry,
From
just real quick.
people.
It seems like he wants to actually have the debate on Sitch's law grounds, and she doesn't. She wants to move past that because she's not doing the same thing. Like, she's not saying, let's argue over definitions. She's saying, I don't care what the definition is. Just pick one and let's go.
Yeah.
And 45 minutes later, they haven't fucking picked it yet.
That's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
History. I'm telling you.
Correct. It's a historical movement by your own definition.
That doesn't mean that you can't make a definition for the word,
Yes,
so
you
we
have
can
to
just
go to
talk
the
about
people.
it.
Where do you think words come from? From people.
That
They
doesn't
don't
mean-
drop out of the sky. They come
Jay,
from people.
Jay, I know you can do this. You can define a word without.
What is agua?
I know. I was thinking the
Agua.
same exact thing. I was thinking the
Yes.
same exact thing. The things that the words are representing don't. I mean, they do drop out of the sky.
The agua drops out of the sky, yeah.
They're tangible things.
So I guess like to really explain what's happening here is that there's an idea in the philosophy of language where basically definitions are how words are used, right? And that's going to change from subculture to subculture. So if you're hanging out in one space and like let's say you're hanging out with trans activists and they'll give you a definition of the word woman that includes trans woman. And let's say you're hanging out with like a bunch of conservatives and then they will say adult human female. And the idea of arguing over which of these two definitions is correct is, as you said, Adam, it's just a status thing. It's like, well, who gets to control what the wider culture sees this word as? But in actuality, the wider culture is just a collection of subcultures that all have their own internal languages in some ways. So, like, it makes sense to use adult human female in some contexts, and it makes sense to use the more trans-inclusive definition in other contexts. What matters is the ideas you're talking about, not like the actual arguing over what the word means is just power.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it comes to like with this conversation, if you're having a debate with someone and someone's like, listen, I'll use whatever definition you want. I'm fine using that definition so we can actually talk about the concepts. Then that shows you that, that person is not interested in sort of doing the power game, status game thing, which, not so weird. I believe in this conversation says she'll use whatever definition of feminism he wants. She just needs a definition they can sort of operate on. And as you're saying, like the what is a woman thing, that is a clear example of the opposite of that. That's a clear example of people trying to basically subvert an argument by saying, I don't even have to have a conversation about whether trans women should be included in sports or women's only locker rooms or whatever, because I'm just defining them as women. So therefore, they automatically are granted equal rights.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
We
It kind of reminds me of, like, if you go back 3 or 4 years now, Destiny debating Richard Wolff, because Destiny was just like, just give me the definition of socialism, and you spent like 45 minutes going on a university
Yes.
lecture.
Oh,
And it's
oh my
like,
God,
Jesus
that was
Christ.
hilarious. He wouldn't stop. Sitch and I always have slightly different definitions, and when we argue about them, we can take the other person's definition into account and argue from either definition. So just withholding your definition, it just seems silly to me. Just throw out what your definition is and let's move on, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
That is what every good couple does, yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Giving me a 5-minute
you
monologue
can't.
on the history.
No, you can't.
So there's no way for you to define feminism.
Would you go to a
without
dictionary?
history.
That's an appeal to authority.
It's not an appeal
Yes,
to
it
authority.
is.
Okay, there are appeal to authorities that are fallacious, and there are appeal to authorities that are
Oh,
non-fallacious.
like when I give the examples of the
Rockefeller
funders,
as
the
a
funders of
funder
it.
is not an appeal.
It's not just a
legitimate-
funder. Abby was involved in Cell 16. She's not just a funder.
That doesn't matter. That
It
doesn't
does
mean,
because it came from them.
that doesn't mean that she's a relevant authority to cite.
The one who funded it and got it going at Chicago University is
Funded
not relevant.
portions of the third wave. Yes,
Correct.
that doesn't mean that
No,
she
it
gets to
comes out of her money.
No, that doesn't mean
millions
that-
of dollars at
again,
Chicago University.
That doesn't mean that she's the definer of feminism.
I didn't say she was. I said she's.
You cited her as a definer of feminism.
She's involved in the third
What's
wave
the
movement.
definition of
and-
feminism, Jay?
Oh
You
my
can do
gosh,
it.
you're so stupid.
I've got
You
three
can't
things from you so far.
even do a
Feminism
rational
equals
conversation.
rights of women. Men and women are
You
equal.
admitted-
Labor rights.
I
I've
mentioned
got three things. What
I
else is
mentioned
feminism? We can do this,
inheritance
Jay.
in terms of first wave feminism. I mentioned
yeah.
child age of marriage as another element of it.
Okay, so
in terms of the first wave.
He caved. He folded. He's going to give her the definition.
What a cock.
civil rights. Let's just call those civil rights.
That's not civil rights. It's yeah, oh my gosh. It's
How is that not
prior to
civil
the
rights?
civil rights movement, you idiot.
That doesn't mean that it's not civil rights, Jay. I'm just trying to create a way to make this succinct so we can get a fucking definition because you don't like mine, which is fine.
I said yours.
That's why I'm just
yours
trying to
is
now
too
get a new
broad.
one. That's fine. Make your own.
I'm giving the historic.
I don't want the
need
history.
my own definition.
Yes,
it's
you
your
do.
position, you goofus.
No.
You debate
Jay,
positions
Jay,
like when you
Jay,
debated Jim Bob,
Jay.
and you tell people to define your position. This is
Isn't he debating feminism is bad? I mean, he does
Yes.
need a definition to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
how silly you are.
No, Jay.
You
I gave
a broad definition.
I gave you a definition, and you
Which
don't
is too
like
broad.
it. That's
No.
fine. Make your own.
Just real quick, do we know what her definition was from the start?
No. I
Yeah.
don't.
Her definition from the start was that it was a movement that seeks to like empower and give equal rights or something to women.
Okay, and his objection is that definition of feminism is too broad. Okay, but does he actually object to those things in her definition?
What do
Who
you mean?
knows?
We haven't got there yet, eh?
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah.
All right.
Own definition, and then we can
I
work
don't
from
need
there.
to make a definition.
Yes,
It's
you
not
do.
my
If you
position.
if you have
It's a
rejected my definition, you now have to supply one.
Yes, I'm going to the people who came up with it. Correct.
Rockefeller didn't
historically.
come up with it.
I said Mary Wollstonecraft in my opening statement is one of the first feminists in modern society.
Do you want to supply a definition? This is
What are you arguing against? Jeez, guy, come on. We got to know what you're arguing against.
doesn't matter, Jay. Just make a
does
definition.
So the people who came up with it don't matter.
They matter if you can get to getting a definition out of your fucking mouth. We've got
I've been
three.
giving you
We've got four
four.
elements of
Thank you.
feminism now. Okay, so we've got rights of women, like
People wanted us to talk to this Jay Dyer a bunch.
Oh, really?
People used to beg for us
I
to
don't
get
remember
this guy
that.
on.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of right wingers love this guy because he's a Christian. He is a Christian. I mean, he might be a theocrat for all I know.
He's an idiot.
men and women are equal.
Hey, be
So-
nice.
So I went back into the beginning. So her definition was, which I think I agree is, I don't like her definition. I think it's way too broad, is that feminism is about the empowerment of women and the promotion of femininity.
What? What?
So
Okay.
it is like, she gave a really
No.
bad definition. So I think you should just lay out a different definition and move on with it. But
Equal rights for women, right? I mean, that's what most people think when they think of feminism. This
Well,
is
Yeah.
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
why what I laid out I object to, because it's not, that situation is not equal rights for women. It's giving women a giant advantage in the social environment. So
right.
Yeah,
I'm not in favor of that.
If the definition includes empowerment for women, there are some spaces in life where women should not be empowered. It's just how it is.
I think the problem is the debate topic is actually a bad topic, because feminism, because of the history of it and the four waves and all this other stuff, feminism is very broad. It has a lot of different ideas in it. And so unless you're going to really argue that every single idea in feminism is bad, it doesn't really make sense to say, is feminism good or bad? The debate topic should be like, well, what elements of it are good? What elements of it are bad? So you don't get bogged
Right.
down in this, like trying to like have this all encompassing, one sentence definition of something that's pretty complicated or has a lot of different ideas attached to it.
Of course, yeah.
Because like you have liberal feminism in the the 60s, the second wave feminism. You have liberal feminism, which believed that you should try to change things, with from a rights-based liberal perspective using the process. And then in the same time period, you have radical feminists who believe, no, you need to get rid of liberalism and replace it with like some kind of weird, communist, female-driven society. So it's like, well, if you say feminism's bad, are you talking about both? You're talking about one? Talking about the other?
Right. There's the man-hating feminists.
Right.
Are they good? Is that good?
I would say no.
Me too. Oh, me too.
Equal egalitarianism, labor rights, and civil rights. Is there anything else you would like to add to that definition?
As we move into modernity, we get more radical versions of this, particularly with Cell 16, which becomes almost a revolutionary terrorist movement, which wants to engage in radical action and Skittles rights, shall we say. So they move into it being Skittles as well.
Okay, so
now, I don't care if you reject...
He can't just say gay rights. You got to say Skittles rights.
Skittles. Well, listen, it's not just the gays, Adam. Okay, you got to be open-minded. It's LGBT plus QA 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure. But
Is that what that means?
you can say gay
Skittles
rights.
means LGBT stuff now?
I'm assuming he means like the rainbow.
You could say
okay.
LGBT stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
rights.
I don't care if you reject that or accept that. Because I'm looking at this as a historical movement, because guess what? Feminism is a historical movement. That's what we're debating.
I mean, if she's going to argue against it, she has to accept it. Hey, what the fuck is this? What is this? What's happening here?
You might not believe me, Jay.
I'm surprised people aren't calling LGBT stuff lig butt.
Lig butt.
Lig
Oh,
butt.
yeah.
Lig butt?
All that lig butt stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Lig butt.
There you
Yeah.
go. All the lig
LGBT.
butts. Yeah.
Right.
Sounds
That's
kind of like
actually really
lick
good.
butt. It sounds kind of it's like kind of close to lick butt as lig butt. It's like ligma, It's good. Let's let it sit with you for a while. Okay.
The
there's something in
LGBT
there for
is
sure.
at war with the T right now, though. That's the
True.
split between third and fourth wave.
Well, some are.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
It's
Oh, by the way,
I'm so,
when you mentioned earlier the Cell 16, I just had to quickly look that up. Yeah, that was the beginning of the separatist feminists, where they wanted like a female-only society. So the
What happens when one of them has a son?
I guess they're fucking out.
Banish them to the wasteland.
Yeah,
Haven't you
it
ever
was-
seen
It was
what
like feminist nationalism, basically.
300?
No.
They throw
Was
the
it-
kid out.
I don't know if it was actually Zardoz or if it was the Rick and Morty parody of Zardoz, where they had like the society was like split between men and women.
I didn't see it.
Don't worry about it.
Nope, sorry.
I'm
I
so
got it.
disappointed about this conversation. I talked about chatter because I was interested in a good
You
discussion.
keep saying chatter doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I did an internal critique and you didn't know what that was. And then I start going to the history of feminism
You're just
and then
saying
you're
stuff
floundering.
right now. You're just saying
I'm just
stuff right
saying
now.
stuff.
Yeah.
There we go.
So going to chatter, the reason I asked you about it is so that we could have a decently good conversation, so that we weren't quibbling over the definition of words and we could actually engage in conversation. If the only way that you can debate for the last 25 years is to just quibble about semantics of words, I'm sorry, you're not a king debater. You're just bad faith.
You asked me for the last 30 minutes to define a word. So you're the one that's quibbling about semantics.
I'm
That's
not
semantics.
quibbling. I'm literally not quibbling. I am writing down your words.
Oh, so if you're
and
writing it down.
I'm granting. It's not semantics because I'm just granting your
I
definition.
thought it was semantics. No, it's not.
It's not semantic debating because I'm not disagreeing with you on your definition. I'm literally begging you to.
What the? This is so bad. I can't. People think that this was a good performance by Jay. There
Dude,
are
really?
people in the world that think that.
I thought most people thought it was a bad performance.
Oh, okay,
is what
okay,
I
that's
saw.
good.
I saw a lot of people who were saying
Jesus.
they don't even agree with Not So Erudite, or they agree with Jay, but they thought his performance was bad. That's what I
Okay,
saw. It seemed like a lot
good.
of people were saying.
That makes
Well,
sense.
Are his fans all watching from the hospital or something? Like, what the fuck?
Ooh,
What's-
ooh, ah.
to just give me one. I'm begging you at this point because you don't like mine. So let's give yours.
I don't care what
Rights
your
of women.
definition is, because all I have to do is critique your position internally and point out that
You
it's
do have
so
to care
ambiguous.
about my definition.
This is, oh God, why do they always do this? This is like a debate tactic of the Christian apologists all the time. The internal inconsistency of your worldview means I win. I win the debate.
Because it's the easiest way to debate someone is to just say, I'm not going to forward anything. You have to just forward everything. And I'm just going to pick away at all the little
Critique, yeah.
inconsistencies and critiques, because I think it's almost impossible for any person to have a framework that doesn't have some level of inconsistency
Assumption, yeah,
or some
totally.
baked in assumption that is just a faith-based assumption at some level.
Right. Yeah.
I think pretty much all this now goes back to Sargon's take on ideology, right? But all worldviews have to have that piece of them that aren't based in reality, and you can easily critique that because sometimes reality doesn't align with it.
Right.
Right.
Definition, if you're going to do an internal critique, that's the fundamental of a fucking internal critique, is that
Oh, now
have
you
to
do know
use my
about. So you
definitions.
just learned about an internal critique about 10 minutes ago, and
Yeah.
now you're going to lecture me on it.
You're a really good teacher, Jay. What
Thank
can I
you.
say? So
The debate's over.
you do care
She
about
admitted she's learning.
you
in the
do
debate.
care about feminism and my definition of it because you need it for the internal critique, which you've already
I don't
acknowledged.
care about-
Hold on, real quick. Okay, he just laughed and he was like, "Debate's over," because she just admitted she was learning during the debate. I think that just shows that this is all about optics to him. Like that
It
was the
is.
admission.
Yeah.
That was the admission that he is not interested in any sort of truth. He's interested in looking better, even if he's a fucking retard.
Yes. Yeah.
About it because
But
it
now
doesn't-
you've
it
rejected
doesn't
my
act-
definition
my
of
God.
feminism. So again, I know being mean to women is
It
your
doesn't-
fallback
Oh,
if you
now
have nothing
there we
else
go.
to
Ad
do.
hominem. Now, so there we go.
It's not an ad hominem. I didn't say
Being
that you're
mean to you?
No,
Who's being mean to
I
you?
didn't say you're wrong because you're being an asshole. I just said you're an asshole.
Now you're getting your feelings.
That's not an ad hominem. My feelings
It's
are
not
fine.
an ad hominem.
No, insulting
She got it. She totally
My
got
God.
him.
people and being mean is an ad hom. You should know this. You can Google it. Google it at home. An ad hom is when you use the insult of a person to discredit them. So if I said, Jay, you're wrong because you're mean, now I'm ad homing you. As a debate bro of 25 years, you should know your fallacies better. You've already been wrong about multiple fallacies.
Really?
That's like the most autistic comment that you see thousands of times. Anytime someone says the word ad hom, they note that distinction. So you can tell Jay doesn't read his comments.
And you can't, can't define feminism. Do you want to get there?
You've already admitted that I gave you four elements.
It seems like you have more.
So
five, actually.
I think that
it seems
you
like have
actually
more
think
that you want to add.
You
to.
actually think like
Or are you happy
maybe
with this
a
definition?
100 IQ person that the way that you define something is you literally just look at a definition in a dictionary and then you just list it out and that's the definition of the word.
False.
That's
false.
Really?
Yeah, I've never said
Because
that.
I'm giving you the entire
Jay.
context of the history of feminism,
Why?
and you're saying, I need a fucking definition.
Yes.
As we're working through the actual history of it and the definition of
because
what
again,
it is.
to give me
You admitted that it's a historical movement, didn't
that
you?
has nothing to do with you giving me a definition so
You
that we can
admitted
talk about it.
that it's a historical
Of course, Jay.
movement,
Yeah.
so the history has to do with it, you idiot.
I don't need the history for you to give me a definition, you
We
idiot.
have to go to the people who are the philosophers of it.
You can just define
Like
it.
Mary Wollstonecraft and her positions.
You can just
like
define it.
egalitarianism.
You can just define it. So
I'm
we can
defining
fucking
it
move
for
on.
you. I've been defining it, and you just
it's-
keep yapping and
the-
melting down over your notes.
Well, the issue is that it
Movements evolve over time anyway. So who cares what the progenitors thought? It could be completely different in society now. People
Yep.
acting it out could have completely different motivations and beliefs around what they're doing. So
Mhm. So if we're going to go all fallacy today, this is known as the genetic fallacy, in fact.
oh yeah, it is. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, if you're going to say it always goes back to the founders, I mean, you could say, well, then we have to interpret Christianity through Judaism forever.
Oh yeah. No, we need the New Testament, the new
Right.
revelation.
That's why you should that's why everyone should update their views on movements as they change over time.
Sure. Yeah.
has taken me pushing you to be specific over and over for 45 minutes. We have 5 points now.
Because you don't
for
have
feminism.
anything other than this.
That's false.
How
I
does
gave you
any of
multiple
this
definitions.
prove your position that feminism is good for society? As
Honestly,
a feminist,
What is feminism? How can we tell if it's good for society if we don't know? And it doesn't matter what they thought 100 years ago about feminism. We care now.
Can we
you're
get there?
showing us that you're not good for society. So you're actually proving my point as you yap and argue. You're
That's actually a
proving my
great
point.
example of an ad
Yes,
hom.
that is actually
That is an ad hom.
That is an act, but it's an illustrative ad hominem. Yes, correct.
That's true. It was a very creative ad hom. Okay, so we have 5 points.
So yapping women is part of the definition.
I mean, listen, I'm against yapping women. Okay,
I'm against anybody yapping.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Quit your yapping. I think Jay is yapping a bit more in this discussion, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That you would like to define feminism. Is there any other points that you want to define feminism with?
Yes,
Is there
the
anything
people
else?
who funded that also said
Yeah.
that they like the movement because it destroys the nuclear family, gets women in the workforce, taxes the other half of the population, and reduces the population because there's less families.
How do you want to?
Okay. That's an interesting definition of feminism. They
Like,
wanted
there
to
are
destroy the
elements
nuclear
of
family.
there are elements of feminism that did say that, but like he's very clearly focusing in on the craziest part.
Was it the goal to destroy the nuclear family, though? I mean, what
Yeah,
feminist said that?
there were definitely a few of the radicals who were like, "Yep, we're destroying the nuclear family because the nuclear family is what
Patriarchal?
inculcates people into the patriarchy. It's
okay.
reinforced through mothers and fathers, and so if we're gonna ever have liberation, we have to not have we have to destroy the nuclear family." Yeah, that was definitely a take.
Okay.
Right. But that wasn't the main. I don't think that was the mainstream view of feminism in America.
Right.
Was that notion? I think he's trying to make the argument, which is something he said kind of in the beginning of the conversation, which is that I guess I don't know. He doesn't. Maybe he will in this part. In the beginning, he kind of doesn't really want to fully buy the position, maybe because it's hard to defend. It seems like he was trying to argue that just having women work in the jobs as opposed to raising children is just a net negative period all around. It sounds like is what he was saying.
Okay.
Summarize that.
Why do I have
destruction
to?
of
You
nuclear
can't remember
family?
what I just
So
said.
feminism
You can't
is-
remember 4 sentences I just said.
No, I can remember. I just want to you're such you're just very yappy, and so I'd like to
I'm
make
yappy.
it succinct. Yes,
I'm yappy.
to give me a definition, you've had to give me an entire century's worth of history, even though
like when you admitted that it's a historical movement, so it can't be.
Here's the
it
thing.
can't-
Okay, real quick, I did drop in the in our Zoom chat. There's many articles like this. This one is just why we should abolish the family, and this is more of the communist side of feminism because Engels wrote about abolishing the family a lot in the pre-feminist days. So this does exist. He's focusing on the radicals because it makes him look better, as he
Of
wrote
course.
from his point of view. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Can't be
Jay,
divorced from the
you
historical
know what you
people.
could have done? You could have just said to me, so that we can move forward with this conversation. Feminism is
Yeah, but I'm not going to
is
grant
rights
you.
of women, men
it's
and
a
women
debate,
are equal, labor
so I'm
rights,
not going to
civil
grant
rights,
you
and trans rights.
simple answers in a debate.
Why
to
wouldn't you
help
just
you.
define a word?
I don't
If we
owe
can,
you a
grant
definition.
one
maybe
answer,
we could
though, at all?
avoid some of the insults, and if we can, also allow people to finish their thought. Let's try to
Okay, are you
not
happy?
do interruptions, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
So
are
I
you?
want to know how any of this helps your case to prove feminism is good for society.
Well, we can get there now that we've defined feminism.
Okay.
So, destruction of nuclear family is another one that you would like to add to
Sure.
the definition of feminism.
That's why the people who fund it matter, is because they say that.
Okay, I would argue that the destruction of nuclear families is not inherent to most feminist movements and is bad. So I reject that part of your definition.
So the people who want that in society and say that it does that don't matter. Because you have
They're not the feminism that I'm fighting for.
because you have a definition that is so elastic to make it anything that you think helps women. And that's why I've said you've already lost the debate,
I was
because
pretty
you're elastic.
The
It's not
empowerment.
specific.
Well, you define
that's why I asked you
empowerment
that
of women
opening
and promotion of femininity. So empowerment means things
That
like
is
removing obstacles.
ambiguous.
And promotion of
It's
femininity would be
ambiguous.
like making feminine traits viewed as respect-worthy.
Like submitting to authority in men. Is that a feminine trait?
No, I would not say so.
So it's not clear. It's ambiguous.
I would say
so
submission is.
you have to
feminine.
define it.
I would say submission's feminine, but I don't think it's to men specifically. No.
Oh, okay.
It would be like to any authority, right?
To any authority.
Yeah.
I mean, you could define that as service, and I don't think service is necessarily bad, right? To serve people, to serve your community, to serve your family. It's not
It's not
necessarily a
bad.
bad trait.
That's not bad.
It's not bad, but the most extreme opposite position would call it feminine for sure.
Well,
Yeah, of course. Well, it seems more neutral, though. If you're on a team in the military, obviously you're serving your fellow soldiers, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
that's true.
but you are the woman in the team as opposed to the guy who's leading the team, who is the alpha male.
Right. But he's serving too. He's serving his country.
Well, then he's also a woman.
He's
in
serving
that
the grass.
relationship. He's the woman in that
I'm just trying to
relationship.
think of a way that doesn't frame it as the fucking doormat, right? This is the way the feminists want to frame the male's opinion of them. They want to say that all men see them as the doormat, even though service is not necessarily a bad thing if you frame it that way. So,
Well, it's playing into the stereotype, which some people want, which is that like maybe a man at his job, or if he's in the military or whatever, he's not the top of the hierarchy, so he's serving someone else. But when you come home, you're the king of your castle. Okay, so
right.
everyone else has to serve you. That's not a co-equal relationship.
Can you imagine? Oh,
And that means you can beat your wife, based.
right.
Well, only it depends how thick the steak is, right?
That depends.
I mean,
Oh
listen,
my
don't
God.
go crazy. Just give like a spanking when it's required, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way it's just these conversations are very annoying because it's very clear. Like the whole goal is, I'm going to say some extreme part of some feminist belief that you don't agree with, and then I'm going to try to make you defend it. And you keep saying, "Well, I don't agree with that." It's like, well, then yes, you do, because you're defending feminism, as opposed to the conversation being like, okay, we we acknowledge that there's a bunch of elements to some movement, and we all agree you don't like that. So then either the conversation is about, what are the elements that you do agree with that I disagree with, or you can try to make an argument to say the elements that you disagree with will somehow still come to be to the elements that you do agree with. Like that's how you should have the conversation, not just be like, no, this is what they believe. You have to defend it. You have to defend it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
There's got to
yeah.
be some aspects of feminism that he would agree with, that you could put that on him, force him to say that he agrees with feminism because he agrees with those aspects.
Right.
I mean, just ask him, is it okay to beat women? Right?
He'll just be like, yes.
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what his positions are.
Giga
He
shit.
might think it's fine to beat
Maybe.
women.
Are most authority men?
A lot of them are, but some are
So it would
women.
be to men.
Nope, it would be to authority. But men aren't a class. Men aren't a class.
But most authorities are men, and they are submitting to that, right?
So
It's so bizarre because the guy
sorry,
who
go on.
thinks men should be in charge seems like the worst person to be in charge. Like I don't want to be under this guy. Like if this guy doesn't strike me as leader material here.
Well,
No.
firstly, Erudite just said that men aren't a class, which is definitely not an intersectional take. So I was like, okay, cool. I thank you, Erudite, for being not an intersectional feminist, because intersectionality is fucking cancerous. But also, I think what Jay and many people like him just don't understand about the nature of authority is that it's not just, the women or the submissives or the cucks or whoever, the people at the bottom of the hierarchy, just following the lead of the people at the top, listening to what they say, I lead, you follow. It's not just that. Like that is part of the relationship. But also the people at the top of the hierarchy have a responsibility to those at the bottom. That's
Of
what
course.
justifies their position at the top in the first place. Like you can be a king of a nation, but you can't simply abuse your subjects. Like you do rule them, you do have authority over them, and you do lay down the law when necessary, but you can't just be a tyrant to be a good king. And I think that half of the conversation is basically what like the red pill space doesn't understand, what like the manosphere doesn't understand, what a lot of the right wing right now doesn't understand, is that there is an obligation for those at the top to have some consideration for those at the bottom.
I would prefer there to be some mechanism to force them into having an obligation. A king, I don't think, has an obligation. A king and his subject is just like a master and a slave a slave can or a master can beat their slaves to death. I mean, obviously,
I was
you could
speaking very
counter-
generally. I was speaking like, yeah, you know what I mean, though. I'm not a monarchy cuck. I'm not a monarchy cuck.
I mean,
okay?
the difference matters in just that if there is not some kind of mechanism to align the interests of both parties, then obviously someone is going to get subjugated. This is why we've made slavery illegal. So, and
Okay.
we don't like the king
I've looked up-
situation.
I've looked up the term that I was trying to reach for that I couldn't quite reach for. It's called noblesse oblige. If you
Mhm.
guys know what that is. And
I only speak English. Okay, I don't speak your Nobunadu Latin. Okay.
it basically means that an And this is in terms of a feudal society, but it works in modern society as well. It's just the terms that are used, so don't. It's not actually talking about kings or anything like that, right? But basically, a noble class has a responsibility beyond just being entitled. They have to fulfill certain social responsibilities towards the serfs, and
If you force them
they're
to.
a bad. Otherwise, they are a bad noble.
Well, no.
If you force them to.
Wait. We're not talking about the We're not talking about what is practical. It's just an idea that people should do that.
Yes, this is like it's like a moral or a cultural norm that in order to be a good ruler, you must not just rule over those that you rule over. You must also take you must take into consideration their point of view as well.
Well, and it's not just rules. It's also if you're wealthy, you have the idea is that you should have an obligation to help the less fortunate.
That's a cultural norm that does not exist anymore, though. That cultural norm has been completely obliterated.
I think
it's gone, but it was around for some time.
I would say completely obliterated. It exists to a lesser extent than maybe it did in the past.
There's not going to be any social pressure. This is the whole idea behind libertarianism. There's no social pressure on you to be conscious of anyone else. It's I get mine, you get yours, right?
No, but I mean, like, there's a lot of people.
That is the flaw of the individualistic point of view. Is
Right.
I have no obligation to you, even though I have more money than you, or I have a greater social status than you, or anything like that. Because we're individuals and we're separate. And it's like, okay, sure, that's probably true in a legal sense, because you don't want to be unduly bound to everyone, even when it's ridiculous. But there's still it can still swing too far in the other direction, where we're all atomized individuals, and it doesn't matter if someone's like starving on the street. It's like, well, a good person would help them. It's that kind of thing.
I think overall, culturally, I agree that the idea of if you're wealthy, you should help the less fortunate has definitely been degraded. What I'm trying to say is I don't think you should say it's been completely obliterated, because I don't think that's true. There definitely are a lot of rich people, and we see this, pretty frequently. Bill Gates, the evil Bill Gates, who's all doing all these horrible things. George Soros, the right wing people whose name escapes me, the two brothers.
Elon.
No, yeah, even Elon was saying this, right? There's a lot of rich people who are very wealthy, who then say, okay, now that I've accumulated all this wealth, I want to do something to give back. Now, Elon's going to say he's giving back through Doge. Some people obviously on the left think he's doing it for cynical reasons, but at least from his own statements, he's doing it for a moral reason. He thinks it's like a better thing to do morally, right? Bill Gates thinks, oh, it's moral for me to, have flushing toilets work in Africa and cure malaria or whatever. George Soros thinks it's moral for him to put a bunch of left-wing prosecutors all over the place in all these various states. So I do think there are a lot of rich people and then you have the Disney CEO who thinks it's moral for him to make Disney woke, right? So even if we disagree with the whatever their claims of morality are, or we think it's bad, they still think they're operating from some sort of moral perspective.
Yes. Yeah. They're willing to sacrifice some level of wealth or productivity or efficiency or something to fulfill this moral goal. Yeah.
Right.
And so I guess the issue is that when guys like this talk about hierarchy and they talk about men and women and natural roles, they completely leave out the other side of the argument, where if men are going to be in this dominant position over women as a social norm, they have a lot of responsibilities that they in many ways aren't fulfilling.
Yes, of course. And also the irony of obviously this debate performance does not seem very in line or in tune with that attitude manifesting.
So it would be.
Yeah, but the idea, okay, you love semantic fights.
No, it's called a debate.
I can do that too. If you want me to just mock you every time you stutter, we can have a super fun conversation.
It's just how debates work. I'm sorry.
Mocking people when they stutter is not.
Rhetoric is part of debate. Yes,
this is not rhetoric. This is just you being.
If you ever watched an Oxford Union debate, they make fun of each other.
I'm fine with you making fun of each other.
That's what I've been doing.
Okay. Would you like to have a productive conversation too, or do you want to just? We can circle the drain.
I'm having a great time.
That's fine. We can just continue to circle the drain.
And how does this prove feminism is good for society?
Okay, so I already said I would reject the destruction of the nuclear family. I don't think it's central to most feminism. I think most,
was it central to Cell 16?
It sounds like it was, but I would say most fourth wave feminists, for example, are not very pro destruction of the nuclear family. In fact, there's an entire barefoot pregnant movement within the fourth wave that is very much about embracing being pregnant, being motherhood, and promoting that as a good thing.
Is that the attitude that most feminists in society have?
I would say a lot of young feminists
Just to confirm, by the way, Cell 16 was created in 1968 and they completely dissolved in 1973. They were a blip on the radar in the feminist history of feminism.
No, they're forever. MS-13 is the rebranding of Cell 16. Okay, they're smuggling in their feminist propaganda.
I think the normie take on feminism is just equal rights for women. I think that's most people would agree to that definition.
Right.
They had like a journal, the Journal of Female Liberation, where they talked about feminist nationalism and wanting a woman-only state and all this nonsense. They barely lasted 5 years. They made no actual impact on the feminist movement. This guy knows about them because they're good. They're a good target for him. Basically, that's it.
I think the man-hating feminists are the big problem with feminism. And this guy is just representing a man that is easy to hate, which is super unfortunate. He's probably creating more feminists, more man-hating feminists, the worst kind of feminists by this debate.
Are directly.
Are they the most?
I wouldn't.
No, they're not.
Most also don't want to destroy the nuclear family.
Well, in academia and in
Most
society
feminists
in general,
want to get married and have kids.
does this worldview promote, in general, in society, in academia, and in the corporate world, the destruction of the family, or does it
No.
help it?
It tends to promote it. Yeah, they want
It
women to be
promotes-
mothers
really,
who can also
feminism promotes women, in society in general.
work. I would say fourth
women
wave
being
feminism is very pro-mother.
No,
Yeah.
I asked you about the majority of feminism today.
Most feminists are fourth
that's
wave.
institutionalized.
Yeah, most
How do you know-
institutional
really?
academics are fourth wave.
And they want people to have kids.
Yes.
They're not antinatalists.
I don't know that I buy that. Isn't fourth wave feminists the Judith Butler variety of feminists where all sex is rape? Do they
I think it's
really want to
technically
have
third
kids?
wave.
Oh, that is third wave?
Yeah. But this is why I say this is like having this conversation be framed around whether feminism is good or bad is why the conversation is so stupid.
Right.
Because that's why it's like, okay, well, instead of him just saying, okay, well, like I'm fine with this element of feminism, he can't agree with that because he's taking this position, or the debate position is whether it's like this black or white, if it's good or bad, as opposed to just saying like, okay, I don't know how many people believe X concept. I agree with X concept. Okay, let's move on. Like we all agree that X concept, women having babies and being mothers isn't a negative thing. And if, so let's move on from that conversation to something else, as opposed to getting bogged down in like this nonsense.
Yes, because if we're going to cut away all the bullshit, and this conversation is 90% bullshit, they have both agreed that dismantling the nuclear family is bad and that women do want kids and should want kids. So since they both agree, let's agree on this. Let's move on to something that they don't agree on.
Yes.
But he's like, no, I need to make you hold this basket of positions that I've constructed so that I can say that you're wrong for holding it. And it's like, well, that's not a real debate then.
I don't like this idea that you win the debate by tricking your debate opponent.
You don't like that?
It just seems like that's what's going on here.
I've been in a few debates like that, and it's honestly fucking infuriating when you tell someone, no, I don't actually believe this thing that you say I believe.
Well, they don't give a fuck about actually finding the truth of whatever it is they're debating. What's the point of debate if you don't care about ascertaining the real situation?
It's clout, baby. It's clicks. It's views. It's AdSense.
It is. That's so true and so demoralizing because that's the world we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's all about blowing up your own personal status.
No, some of them are, but most of them are
In
not.
institutions?
Yes.
No, that's crazy.
I don't know what
That's
to tell you.
ridiculous.
I've been reading lots of fourth wave
I've been in
feminists.
academia. I've been in institutions.
Me too.
I've never met a feminist in academia or in institutions who thinks that there should be more people and more kids. They all believe in depopulation.
He said he didn't care what her definition was, and now he's mad that she has a definition he doesn't like. What's going on here? I thought you said you didn't give a fuck what her definition was.
The ones that I've met.
That's crazy. I've just met lots of feminists.
I can't stand Not So Erudite. I think she's... I don't like her, so it's funny though, but I'm forced to agree with her.
That don't believe that, and regardless, those feminists who are like basically death cult feminists, I'm not interested in advocating for their worldview.
That's fine.
I don't have to own them.
But the history of feminism,
Just like you don't have
and
to own like Protestants or
most
something.
feminism, right? So you've got a nuanced feminism, I guess, is your take, right?
I just have like a pretty traditional like fourth wave feminism.
Okay, so but it's not historic feminism, right? Or is it first wave?
It's fourth wave,
So it's tied to history?
of course, because there's
Oh,
waves.
so it is tied to history.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let it go.
Oh, Jesus
Let
Christ.
it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
What's going on?
Letting it go,
Why?
Adam. That's a very feminine trait. Okay, I've seen Disney
Is it?
movies. Okay,
I've
I've seen Elsa.
As someone who's married, I completely disagree with you. Coach. I completely disagree. Okay.
You know what? You're 100% right. That's why.
Yeah.
th- that-
Letting
you know,
it go is a very masculine trait.
Jordan Peterson is wrong. Okay, Frozen does teach women good values. They're trying to teach women to let shit go. That was
Yes.
the Frozen was written by some husband who was just mad his fucking wife wouldn't let something go from 10 years ago, but he keeps when he
course.
left the fucking toilet lit up one time, and so he made an entire movie about it, and he made an allegory about it with ice powers.
Yes. Yeah. Look, women have a more difficult time letting it go. Look, another gender reversal here. Who's the person that's not letting it go
I
here?
know. That's
Jay,
true.
let it go. You're acting
Yay,
like a
let
bitch.
it go.
But the waves,
Oh, but
the
a minute ago,
essentials of the
but you
waves
said it
is that
wasn't a
there's.
minute ago.
I've never ever said that feminism isn't tied to history. You've just made that up.
I think we could go back about 20 minutes, so you can do what I do. You know, we go back 20 minutes where you said that the history doesn't matter.
I
and
said
you need
for
a
your
definition.
definition,
What a
it
train
doesn't
wreck.
matter.
It-
You can hold
you
frame,
just
Jay.
Did you say train wreck?
What a
So
train
true.
wreck.
It's so true.
Literally,
do this.
you have double
Jay,
think
hold
going
your
on.
frame.
Have you read 1984?
You can hold
Have
your
you read 1984?
have.
Right. You know what
Yes.
double think is?
Yes.
It's the ability to contradict within a couple minutes.
I didn't
and
contradict.
It just goes,
If you remember, we can roll back the tape. We were talking about defining.
think
and I cared-
definitions are
Can I finish
relative?
my thought, or are you just going to interrupt me?
because I'm trying to.
Can I
I'm trying
finish
to-
my thought?
I'm trying to hone
Can I
in
finish my
on
thought?
what this weird mistake is because it's weird.
Guys,
Because-
if we can at least, we'll let the
Yeah, I had to look this up real quick. Just so maybe 30 seconds ago, she said, "You can hold frame, Jay. You can do this." You guys know what holding frame is in this context?
No.
Because
Tell
I didn't know
us.
this either. I quickly looked it up. Holding frame is a phrase used in the red pill space
Mhm.
for a man who successfully manages his emotions rather than suppressing them or letting them explode.
Oh, okay, interesting.
She was like, "You can hold frame. You can hold frame." And
Oh,
I
that's
noticed.
good. That's
I
good.
noticed him get like a little bit angry as soon as she said that, and I was like, "Oh, okay, what's going on here?" It's like, yeah, awesome.
All right. She's got his lingo. She's done her research.
hmm
She's done her own research.
insults go. Okay, if you guys want to insult each other, we'll allow that. But at least let each other finish
Okay.
their thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason that we went into the history and why I said I don't care about the history is I was asking for a functional definition so we could move past that part of the conversation. I always acknowledge that history was part of the feminist movement and it's tied to
Yeah,
it.
I reject
just-
that there is a definition divorced from history.
I've never said that there's a definition divorced from history. I said I don't
You
need
did,
the
because
history.
you
I
asked
said
me
I
if-
don't need
you
the
asked
history
me-
lesson. I
you asked
don't
me
need the
for that
history
divorce-
lesson.
you
gotta
asked
let
me
me
for
finish,
that.
Jay. You gotta let me finish,
You
Jay.
asked me because you're lying. You asked
I'm
me for
not
that divorce.
lying.
You said divorce from history. What is your definition? That's
I
what you said.
Yeah, I didn't want the history
Thank you.
lesson.
So you just contradicted yourself.
No, I
Again.
didn't contradict myself.
You're
Jay.
a machine of
You're
contradiction.
desperate. You're so desperate. You're like, God, how do I get this win? I asked for you to stop giving me all of the history and just give me a definition so we can
I don't
move the fuck
accept
on.
that there is a definition divorce from history, and you just admitted that. You
So
goofus.
you don't have the brain capacity to define something without a 5-minute monologue about the
You
history.
just admitted you can't do that.
define
you idiot.
Israel. Are you going to go back 3,000
I
years
will,
to define
correct,
it?
yes, because it's a ancient historical nation. Yes,
So you
correct.
can't define Israel without giving me a 10-minute monologue.
It's a false analogy because feminism is a
not a false
modernist
analogy.
movement. It's a modern movement.
So isn't there a saying about how you don't truly understand something unless you can dumb it down to like a couple sentences for normies?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. I
Well-
think Einstein said that, right? If you can't explain it simply, then you don't really understand it.
Listen,
I'm
he
gonna
was
s-
Jewish. Okay.
There you go. Well, he just said he said you can't compare it to Israel because feminism's modern. I mean, feminism has been around longer than the modern state of Israel.
Then Israel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's in the Bible. Come on.
Okay.
They started talking about it.
I mean, it was
before they
called
actually
Judea
made it.
in the Bible. It was not called Israel. So technically,
Was it really? Wow. Okay.
of course,
Sitch knows his biblical stuff.
I'm a good Jew. Well, it's not true. I'm actually a bad Jew. But
That's okay. We forgive you.
That
It's
doesn't
not
matter.
an ancient civilization.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, the
You
extent,
just saying it
the
doesn't matter
extent
just
of the
shows your
historical
lack
time
of
is not
intellect.
at all a false analogy. Extent
You
being
are
different.
melting down right now because you contradicted yourself
I'm melting
within
down
2
because
minutes.
you said that you had 25 years of debate history and you can't get a single fallacy
Look at
correct.
you. You're melting down.
You said
You're
a false,
spiraling.
How is that a false
You're
analogy?
melting down.
How is that a false analogy, Jay?
Because it's a modern movement. It's not an ancient civilization.
What does that have to do with anything when it comes to
Because
comparing
you contradicted
history
yourself.
for a definition?
And in debates, contradictions
Contradicting
are
myself
what
has
make
nothing
you
to do
lose.
with the false analogy. How is that a false
That's
analogy?
how you lose the debate, correct.
How is it a false
Contradicting
analogy?
is where you
so
lose
you
the debate.
can define Israel without giving me the centuries of history. Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't say that. You just said that.
You said it was a false analogy.
You
So what was the false analogy? I never said that.
You said that. So you're yapping because you got caught.
I didn't get caught.
You did.
Again.
You said that history.
No.
You said history doesn't matter. Give me your definition, and then you just said history matters. It's part of the definition.
You
contradicted
I did not say history matters as part of.
You
no,
did. Yes, you
Jay,
did.
Part of debating. Part of debating is holding frame, right? Would you agree?
Oh my
Like,
god.
when you did that, is that holding frame?
Oh my God, look, he's face palming so bad in the back. He's like, holy shit. He's like, Jay, you're getting hysterical here like a woman. Can we have a real debate here?
Or what is that?
No, that was making fun of you, obviously.
Okay, right.
So part of debating is holding frame.
Like putting dongs in your mouth. Is that holding frame? I don't understand.
No, that's funny.
Is it?
Like we're
Is
all
it?
laughing about it. Yes, it's
Or are
funny.
we laughing at you?
Kind of the same thing. That's kind of what performers do, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So
Who put a dong in their mouth? Was it where? What's the timestamp on that?
I don't think I'm assuming he means her, but I don't know what he's talking about.
part of debating is holding frame.
Is any of this going to prove that feminism was good for society?
We
Because the more
literally-
So, hold on. I mean, okay. If that didn't happen in the video, or that we skipped over as a joke, is he just saying that she's a straight woman who has a husband, therefore she's probably sucked a dick before?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Listen, okay, here. I don't care what your politics are. Everyone who's going to listen to me, just listen for a second. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care any of that stuff. Just
Tell us about the
listen.
blowjob stuff.
Just
I'm ready.
listen. Do not make fun of the people who suck your dick for sucking your dick. They will never do it again. All right. You need to have some basic sense of self-preservation here, okay, guys?
That's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah.
It's a life or death situation. You've been
Like,
bit
listen.
on the dick by a rattlesnake.
Like,
Mhm.
don't go to your girlfriend and be like, "LOL, you're a dick sucker." So no, she won't be anymore.
Exactly. That's a good point.
That's a great point.
The more that
literally
you argue,
can't get there because you
the
are
more that
still
you
quibbling.
argue, you make
over
my case.
I'm
Thank you,
not
by the
making
way.
your case. Again, just
You
an
are.
ad hom. You
but
love
it's funny.
fallacies. It's
That's a
my
joke.
favorite thing about you is that you cite fallacies constantly. You don't know what they mean and you can't define them properly.
like how history is not part of feminism,
How
but
is it a false analogy to compare Israel?
He keeps making this point, but it's not a good point. Anybody can see you can define something apart from history. It's not essential.
Defining Israel?
Because it's
And
an
defining
ancient
feminism.
nation state.
Why
and
does the-
feminism is a modern political social revolutionary movement.
So-
they don't compare.
So why does the
but you
extent
could-
of the length
And
of
you
history make them
admitted-
disanalogous?
You've already
So
lost.
frustrating.
In fact, you're actually completely correct, Adam, because the whole point of an ideology is that it's divorced from any one point in time or any one place.
Of course.
You've taken like a set of values or a set of observations that you see in the real world, and then you've turned them into like a universal theoretical set of ideas that can be applied anywhere. So any ideology is in fact divorced from history in some way.
Yeah, I mean, even Christianity. I mean, you can turn yourself in knots actually connecting it to history, but most people would define Christianity as a belief that Jesus is the Son of God and that He died for your sins. I mean, that's just a thing. It's not necessarily the historical context is not necessarily important.
Lost the debate because you admitted that the definition can't be divorced from the history, and then you said the opposite. That means you've massively contradicted yourself within the last 5 minutes.
Again, you're just making
And that means I win.
shit up. I'm glad that the made-up narrative of this
everybody
story.
heard you,
Okay,
so that's
I'll do
fine.
this. Jay just lost the debate because he's strawmanning me and putting words in my mouth that didn't happen. Wow, I'm really good at debating. Do you want to go back to the actual conversation?
Sure.
Okay, so why is it
He cucked. He gave in. He
They
folded.
did. I know. How dare you not get debate locks like a man?
Oh.
falsely analogous when you're saying that to define words, you must include the entire history to define the word? Why is it disanalogous to compare feminism to Israel? I asked you to define feminism, and I asked you to define Israel,
I have no
and I
idea
asked you if you could
what
define
Israel
Israel
has to do-
without
this
the
is the
3
craziest
centuries of
debate
history.
ever.
And you said, well, it's different. It's a false
Correct,
analogy.
it's a false analogy.
Why is it a false analogy?
Because they're two totally different things. And you already admitted that feminism is a historical movement and that it can and can't be divorced from the history.
So is Israel.
That's making my point, you goofus.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
I'm saying you can obviously define Israel without going through 3 centuries, which you agreed to. That's why you
It's
don't.
a false analogy
You,
because
you
it's
won't define Israel with the 3
It's an
centuries because it's
ancient
just
nation.
long. It's just long.
It's an ancient
Whereas
nation state.
modern feminism only has 100 years. So I
mean,
can
this-
give the history of that, but I can't give the history of Israel to define it because it's too long, essentially. That's your argument. That's what. Yes, that is your argument. It is not falsely analogous. And also,
keep yapping,
comparing
it
2
makes
different
my
things
point,
is the
please.
point
Keep
of
talking.
fucking
The more that you
analogies.
talk, it makes my whole case here that feminism is a net negative for society. Thank you for representing
Honestly,
feminism, by the way.
all you're doing
Thank
is
you
making
for
me be like,
representing
maybe the
feminism.
radfems are right and men got to be out of power because they cannot keep up. If this is what like 2
Yeah, we
masters
can't keep
and a
up, even though
philosophy
you
degree
literally-
do,
right, you literally
honestly,
contradicted yourself within-
I think the
within
conservatives
5
are right.
minutes.
Don't go to college, guys. You're
called
going to end up like
doublethink.
this. Not good.
I don't recommend people go to college, by the way, because you are the people that teach at college. So you're
I teach
actually
at college.
you're like the college professors I debated, the women I debated. You're like them. So they should go to college if you want them to be in your position, right?
No, but if they end up anything like you, they should definitely not go to college. You're like, I had a philosophy degree and I don't know what fallacies are.
Did I say that?
Basically,
Was that a cut down?
yeah.
Good one. Try again.
This would be a perfect moment to read a couple chats here.
Okay, that's a good idea. We should move on to some super chats. You guys can finish this. You guys can finish this train wreck of a debate on your own if you want.
Oh, we're not going
What?
any further?
It's
Well,
there's
I mean,
other things
can-
I want to talk
we
about.
can talk
but
about
it's-
feminism if you want.
There's
Okay.
it's just it's annoying that there's so many people who like I guess give philosophy a bad name, who they study philosophy and then they go on these internet debates and they just become like completely bogged down in this sort of meta conversation about tactics and definitions and all this nonsense, and you can never actually get to.
Contradictions.
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
well, what are we actually talking about?
Epistemologies. Yeah.
Right.
What the fuck? What are we talking about here?
Right.
There's a bunch of people in the world today that call themselves feminists. What are their motivations? What do they believe? What is their worldview? What political aspirations do they have? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people we're talking about. Are those people good for society, or are they going to bring society down at some point? It's very simple, right? You could actually have a conversation about that instead of having a conversation about having a conversation.
So, just out
Mhm.
of curiosity, do they ever actually get to a point?
I'm not sure. I think this is about as far as I've actually made it. So I sent this to Sitch and said, look, here's a train wreck we should cover. We're gonna have some fun watching this on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jay, unlike this incompetent Jay, we have Base Jay in chat. Okay.
Right.
Base J Mac, our second father for $20, says, I got detained at the airport when I was in EOD training due to having explosive residue on my hands. I washed thoroughly,
Ooh.
but C4 sticks. Wow, you better listen. You better be okay. You better be
That's
careful.
hilarious.
That's hilarious. They had to call my MTL to clear me. Time consuming, but it ain't so bad. Well, there you go. Wow, that's pretty funny. Okay. Glad they got that sorted out though before you get shipped off to Guantanamo Bay.
I remember when they were doing that explosive testing right after September 11th.
Yeah, that's right. They didn't do that for very
Yeah.
long though. They didn't do that for very long, but
Nah.
the Mongolian leprechaun Superman from Saturn for $50. Thank you. Says, hey, Sitch Adam and SFO, how would you feel about this hypothetical presidential debate between Andrew Tate as a president pick and Kanye West as his VP pick versus Hassan Piker pick and Louis Farrakhan as his VP? What team would you vote for?
That is a nightmare scenario right there.
I'm not
Satan,
a
I guess.
person who advocates for political violence.
Right.
But
Right.
all right, I'll leave it at that. That is
Wow.
awful. That is an awful.
So this is
combination.
Andrew Tate, Kanye West and Andrew Tate
Yes.
versus Hassan Piker
and they're the
Louis
Democrats.
Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Listen here, let's spice it up. We'll make Andrew Tate ticket the Democrats, and we'll make the Hassan ticket the Republicans.
That wouldn't make any
makes no
sense, though.
sense. Yeah.
Listen, the future's a wild world.
Okay.
A wild ride.
Louis Farrakhan would never cuck himself to be the VP to a white man. All right.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, Hassan's not white.
He says he is.
He says he's Turkish. He's
He
Turkish.
said, no. You know
He's
what I'm
a
saying?
Turk.
Hassan is Schrodinger's white. Okay. When it suits him, he's white. When it doesn't suit him, he's not white. So he's both.
Listen, the same can be said about you, Sitch.
That is no. Jews are Schrodinger's whites according to everyone else. Okay, I 100% have always considered myself white. But if the lefties consider me white, so they can use it against me, and some of the far right accuse me of not being white, so they could use it against me. So just a lose. It's the opposite. Hassan uses it to his advantage. I get like double slapped from both sides.
Actually, yeah, I've seen that happen to JonTron too, because he's Persian, right? It's like, no, he's white. It's like, oh, okay.
Right. I mean,
that's when they pull out the white passing.
JonTron is a very white-looking gentleman. Okay.
He is. He's very white passing. That's true.
I mean, it's like the classical Aryan, right? Doesn't it mean like Iranian?
His middle name is actually Aryan, so.
Well, there you go. That's hilarious. Well, there you go. He is the most whitest man who ever whited. Okay.
I don't know that I could pick anyone out of that lineup. I would look forward to the debate though, because that debate would obviously be a shit show.
Mm-hmm. The Justice 35 for 32 months says, I'm so sick of the Andrew Wilson School of Debate, no serious discussion and infinite questions and a bad faith internal critique, S-class forever. True. It's very annoying. It
is super annoying. Trying to win on a technicality. Imagine that in boxing, where you're not going just for a knockout. You're trying to win on a technicality. Just bouncing around the ring. Yeah.
Right.
Trying to get more hits in, more touches. Boring.
Adam is anti-touching in boxing.
Yeah. Well, look,
Anonymous
connect on a real punch.
Anonymous Cow for $5 says, this is not the reading I got from the debate. NCS never directly answered a question, and if she did, she would answer a slightly different question. I only saw this. I saw like the first 30 minutes, and actually, I guess I've seen like the first hour now, and I don't. That's not my read at all. My read at all is that that they could never even get to a part of the conversation where they could have a question and answer session, like an actual back and forth, because so much of it just kind of spiraled into this, I'm going to try to force you to define feminism in the way that I want it to be defined.
Yeah, I'm going to try to force you to make a contradiction that I can point out and say I won,
right?
Even though that has nothing to do with whether or not feminism is good or bad for society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if one person is contradicting themselves in the debate, how does that have anything to do? Especially if you haven't even agreed upon a definition of feminism. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about?
Right.
We had a more substantive discussion about the good or badness of feminism for society than they did, just in talking between pauses.
That's true. And Oscar $5 says NCE, not sorry, erudite, was on the affirmative from the debate rules. Jay didn't have to define it. It was on her to make the definition, him to critique it. I don't remember that being in the official rules. When I was listening to the opening statements, he gave his opening statement first, and he said, feminism is bad and it's destroyed society. And he had a very specific view or lens of how he was defining feminism. And then she said feminism good, and she had a different view. So I didn't get that interpretation from it. If that was a debate rules, then she would be an idiot for accepting that. You should never accept a debate where they say, okay, you have to do all the work and I get to sit back and critique it and do nothing.
Of
affirmatively.
course,
You should
yeah.
never agree to debate. If that was the rule, you should never agree to debate from that. So
When
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
going to lay
doing
out some debate
debates,
rules. I'm laying out debate rules right here. Rule 1 is that I win.
okay.
when I was
Okay.
doing debates, we would spend so much time on the question because I never wanted to debate a question that I didn't know I could just annihilate.
There
And
you
so
go.
much of it is in the question. How you frame the question is everything.
Right. Well, so unfortunately, the framing of the debate question here, being broadly feminism good or bad, destroyed the conversation or partially destroys the conversation.
Yeah.
So
If you said is equal rights for women good for society, then all of a sudden you avoid all this jockeying for definitions.
Yes. That Darn Kiddeth, hey, Darn Kiddeth, for 26 months says, oh, yes, the Whatever Podcast, a great source of intellectual debates. Juicy stuff here. Where do I begin? Hi, Dev. Hi, Adam. Hi, Sitch. Hi, Blunty.
Yeah, we
Hi.
gotta have Darn Kiddeth on again. She's
Yes,
great. So
She is
Who's
good.
that?
and she's streaming more regularly now. So if you want to come on, reach out to me, kiddo. We'll have you on next week.
Oil King for $5 says, have you guys gonna get on the Matt Christensen show or the Backlash?
Is there
Is
something
his-
going on with Matt Christensen? I don't know of this drama or controversy.
No, I think when I first read it, I thought you meant that there was some backlash against him, or is the name of the show the Backlash?
I don't know.
I'm
I don't
not
think
sure.
it is. I don't think it is the backlash.
Oh, okay. I'm unfamiliar with any Matt Christensen drama that's going on right now.
So am I.
So-
Man, I haven't heard about that guy in like 6 years. What's he been doing?
I don't even know.
Probably still doing his podcast.
I see clips like occasionally here and there.
Dev, did you watch Andor?
Season 1, yes. Haven't seen season 2 yet.
Oh, okay. Season 2's just a billion times better. So
Really? Because season 1 was amazing.
yeah, a lot of people liked it. I mean, it was okay. I wasn't super crazy for it, but the season 2 was a lot more engaging. So
I'm up to the last 2 episodes of season 1.
okay.
So
So
there-
you know it does get better. Sitch and I kind of tapped out after the first few episodes in season 1, but I watched it while I was shipping comics, and it gets way better.
Yeah.
My take,
I was really
and
impressed.
this could be my take, and this could be contentious for season 1,
Mhm.
which is that I think the acting is very good for the most part. I think a lot of the characters are very interesting and very good. I think the only thing that's hampering it in season 1 is that it feels like it's moving very slowly.
Right.
And what I mean by that, or maybe that's a wrong word, like, because like there's that whole arc where he's like in prison,
Yes.
and like I like that. It's weird. I like it, but then it's like all the other things around it just feel like they're moving at a snail's pace, like the Empire's investigation. All the stuff with Cyril completely falls off the map. All the stuff with like the mom, like when he's in the prison, even though the whole prison thing is kind of like irrelevant, it was like the most engaging part to me. And all the other parts of it, where it should have been more like things happening. Like I feel like almost nothing happens. Like the show just kind of goes on pause.
Yeah, I don't like the structure being in these 3 arcs that are so independent from one another. The second season completely gets past that. Each arc builds off of one another in the second season in a way that I do see them as 2 separate. The part about the prison, and this is the most ironic part, which I love irony. So obviously he's working on parts for the Death Star, but they don't make it explicit. And if they
Right.
made it explicit, if they were cutting back and forth, because building the Death Star is so much more of season 2, they should have had those kinds of things going on in season 1. And I think it would have been a lot more engaging, and it would have been an engaging through line for season 1. You'd be like, oh, this is the Empire building the Death Star, right?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It is not made very clear. They just kind of hint at it because they're like, oh, they're ramping up production for something, right?
But
don't
if
know
you
what exactly
if you
it is.
saw him working on that shit and saw the environment and you were thinking, oh wow, those are all the parts that actually kill him in the end of this, it adds a
Right.
whole different meaning to it. That's totally engaging.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans know that, but I don't think your average normie who's coming to. That's why I just think it needs to be more explicit.
No, that's true. But
yeah.
my problem isn't that the 3 different storylines are not super connected. It's just that I feel like while he's in prison, the other storylines just start moving very slowly. Like there's
Right.
not a lot of progress in those storylines. And I think it's because my assumption would be it's because they're trying to end, like they know that season 2 is supposed to end where the movie ends. So they're
Mhm.
kind of just like spinning their wheels to like pad out till they can get to where they need to get to.
Right. Yeah, no. I do feel like there's filler.
So, which is unfortunate because I liked all the, I like, I like all the stuff with seeing how the Empire operates. I want to see more of that, but I want it to be more engaging and more
Tied to
interesting
the tied to the central plot.
and
I
well,
think, is-
moving, just like moving in a direction. Because I do like all the Empire bureaucracy stuff. And I did like all the prison stuff. I didn't think I would at first, but I did. It was pretty emotionally engaging.
Yeah.
Hayden Dill for 34 months says, "Heyo, Scrubs, y'all should check out DevStream Ego video. Very interesting, fun, informative. S-Class is licked by an A-Team tastes the rainbows like the other Skittles commercial." Well, thank you.
Nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I just released a 3-hour gigalong essay about pirate software, if you know who that guy is.
I don't.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, he is a streamer with millions of subs on YouTube, and before the controversy blew up, he had like 20,000 concurrent whenever he would stream on Twitch. So
Mhm.
pretty big name. He's basically destroyed himself, and it was over literally nothing. It was drama in World of Warcraft. Like that he got some people killed on hardcore WoW. Hardcore is when you die, you lose your character, so you have to start from the beginning again. So he got some people killed. And
Hilarious.
so like it's
Oh
it's
my
the most-
God! Wait, this is
it's the
hilarious.
most nothing. Okay, go
I
ahead.
remember I watched. I don't know anything about this guy. I watched the clip. It was a Diarmall wipe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
watched that
Diarmall.
clip, and I remember like autistically trying to explain it to Sam. She doesn't know anything about WoW. Okay, so
Well,
that's this guy.
yeah. So here, by the way, make her watch my video then, because I artistically explain it very well. I have like screenshots and like which skills do what and what they could have done. Like I have the map open. Like
Dev, I could
so
barely get her to pay attention to me for like 15 minutes talking about WoW. I don't think she's gonna watch a 3-hour video on it.
to be fair, she also couldn't get through my Trump video either, so I understand.
There you go.
But basically, so it's really a nothing burger drama because this guy he ran away during a poll and he got 2 characters killed and they were mad at him for it. It's like who cares,
Right.
right? But what happened is this guy continuously doubled down over not doing anything wrong to the point that he basically destroyed his channel and career.
Mhm.
Like he gets maybe 5,000 viewers a stream when he used to get 20,000, mass unsubs. No one wants to collab with this guy anymore. No one's talking to him anymore. And he like basically destroyed his channel.
Wow,
And
that's
it's like,
insane.
how do you, like, all you had to do was say my bad and it would have been done. It would have been over. And he continuously doubled down to the point that he lost everything. So I talk about the event, but I also talk about the psychology behind somebody who does this to themselves. So it's a
Okay,
3-hour
so-
video. Yeah.
Briefly, so I don't bore Adam
Go.
to death. Okay, very briefly, just so I don't bore and people that know WoW to death. I watched the clip, and I thought he could have helped, but I don't think it was fair to say that like it was entirely his fault.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
Okay, so then
You
so what
watch
is
a clip of him in the game
Yeah.
getting the person
Yes.
killed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like the druid player made significantly more errors than Pirate did as a mage. However, the druid firstly the druid died and Pirate didn't, so he already
Right.
has some victim points, and he
Yeah.
immediately said, "Listen, guys, I'm sorry, I completely fucked up. Like I did this wrong. Here's where I went wrong," and he apologized, and people love this guy now. Even though he was like technically the bigger problem, but because Pirate wouldn't say sorry, my bad. Here's what I did wrong.
Oh,
He kept saying, "No, I'm perfect. No, I did it all right. No, you guys are all wrong. Everyone's wrong." Like he just doubled down repeatedly, and it got to the point where just everyone fucking hated him. And it was for nothing. It was for literally nothing.
It is interesting because it definitely shows you sort of something that you always talk about, Adam, where like
I
morality
know.
is like about like self-sacrifice. And so you have this situation where this character who, was more responsible for everyone dying, but he self-sacrificed to try to fix it, and acknowledge his fault. And he's like forgiven or lionized. And then you have this other guy who I don't think it was his fault, but he could have maybe helped, but didn't. He saved his own skin. And then he gets like, everyone hates him now because he was selfish, or it's perceived that he's selfish because he ran away.
Well, it's not just that. If he just apologized for being selfish, it would have been done.
Right.
If he's like, yeah, I ran away, I didn't want to die. Sorry.
I don't know about that. I don't know if the apology would have gotten off the hook.
Well, if it was
maybe,
early
but,
enough, I think it would have.
Yeah. Because like the second after it happens, he's in the group chat yelling at everyone else, telling him like, no, I did nothing wrong. This is all your fault. It's not my fault. He storms out of the chat. He goes on like other big streamers' streams to talk about it. He says, it's all my fault. Storms out of the chat. He storms out again. He's like, and then when eventually people start sending him death threats and like they start swatting his house because things escalate.
What?
Right?
Holy shit.
And so at this point, he starts not only blaming the people who have sent him threats and swatted him, he blames the entire community. He blames his entire guild. He blames all the streamers that he associates with. Like he fucking shot at everyone.
Okay,
by
well, that's
by
not
saying
smart.
And like so everyone just fucking cut this guy off. And it's like
There's not apologizing and then there's attacking everyone. It's completely different positions, but
yes. But basically like he just kept doubling down. He couldn't just admit that, okay, I fucked up. He like his
how
ego
much of an
him.
investment did the kid have in this character?
I mean, he was new to classic WoW, and it took him maybe a month of like playing on stream every day to get to where he was.
A
So he has to do that all again.
investment. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a month. That's a lot of time.
This is the game that I said I want to stream me and Adam playing it just so Adam can die and lose his character and be mad.
I mean, I'm not gonna be that mad unless you abandon me.
I'm gonna ditch you. I'm gonna ditch you. That was your fault.
That's kind of the plan, though, isn't it? I thought the plan was to ditch me and watch.
That
me
was
die.
kind of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna ditch you. My plan is to throw you out there to see if you'll sink or swim. That's the plan.
What was the game that we played where you kept getting all the cool weapons for me? That's the way that I like to play.
That was Borderlands.
Sitch was doing all the work.
I know. Look at that.
Oh man, no, I've played Borderlands runs where I'm just like getting all the good stuff and giving them to everyone else, and they're like only online half the time. I know what you mean.
Yes.
It was great.
There's only one. No, we played once, and I had like the magic. I forget. It was
think
like
we played
magic
twice
chest.
though.
I guess we played
in
twice.
the gold chest in
The gold
Sanctuary.
chest. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just want to run around and shoot everyone, but I had some shitty pea shooter and I couldn't kill
I will
anyone.
say, I was impressed. Adam was pretty good at FPSs when we played.
Once I
Borderlands.
get my gun, once I get my good gun, that
Yeah,
wrist
pretty good
rocket
aim.
I had was really cutting it.
No.
So a couple people in the chat are saying like everyone was pot shotting at pirates. Yeah, but like there's a difference between people who are like reacting to you on stream and laughing, or they're like, they're insulting you, they're making fun of you. There's a difference between that and death threats. And when you say that everyone who's critiquing you is in league with the death threat people, you've like basically sunk your own ship.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I think it is just interesting in terms of like, the morality aspect where you have, if you watch here, actually, maybe we should Let me bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
You
if
can
you
turn it
can. Throw it
Yeah.
in
Bringing up
Wait.
the event.
Yeah.
So,
but
Cycle.
Yeah, here it is.
But here, wait. Turn off the sound because the sound doesn't really matter. You just look at the
Cycle of
visual.
life, man.
Just look at the visual here. Okay.
Okay.
So you have this 4 screens of like all the various players, right?
Right. Who is
Now
the guy that got canceled?
It's the top right guy.
Okay.
Okay. So look, well, here, let me go ahead a little bit. Okay. So everyone's fighting. They kind of do this bad pull if you played WoW. So basically they pull too many enemies. So they're worried about dying. Okay. So just watch how everyone reacts to this. They're kind of like trying to run away. Right. So top right guy, he's the mage. He's like booking it. He's like, I'm out of here. Okay. Oh, he threw back a blizzard. He threw back
because
a
there's
blizzard.
there's too many bad guys. That's why
Yeah,
he's
there's
running.
too many
They,
people
pulled,
coming, right?
they pulled too many. So what you can see is like the other three are still like they're all retreating, but they're sticking around trying to help each other get out. But the mage is just fucking gone. Like he's just
Right.
down the street, around the corner. Can't see him anymore.
Yeah,
See,
look,
and this is the moral difference, right? Is like, yeah, he's just gone. The other people are like trying to help each other out, and he's out. And so even if it's not his fault per se, I think that's why he gets the blame from all the community, because he just like, they're like, you're a
well, if
coward.
he stuck around, they might have made it. They'd have a whole nother guy.
Well, that's their
25%
argument.
more. Yeah.
That's
Yep,
the argument.
That's the argument. Yeah,
That's the argument. Yeah.
Especially because like when I analyze the actual play in my video, the mages have a lot of ways to slow and freeze enemies. So you could just like keep them slowed, keep them
He
frozen
had
in the
extra
back.
powers. Holy shit.
Yeah,
He could have
so
totally helped him out.
Yeah, so like you have run, which is retreat in an orderly fashion, make sure everyone gets out, and then you have run, which is every man for himself. We fucking scatter, and the entire team was trying to help everyone out, and Pirate just fucking ran.
Well, I would say
gone.
I'd say part of Pirate's defense, which is, I think is defendable because I play a lot of WoW, is that whoever was doing the run did say, like just flee, just run away, and that was the call. And the other people, they decided to like kind of play that more loosely and try to help each other. And if one person doesn't play that loosely, it's like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have done that, but is it that their fault for getting like super ass mad about that? I'd say no.
I guess I don't know the fallout. So he didn't show any remorse for the guy that lost his character. That might have changed the equation somewhat.
That would have changed probably too.
Yeah.
He was like as soon as this clip is done, there's another clip where they're talking outside and he's just like, it's all your fault. It's not my fault. What do you want me to do? I can't do anything. Like just complete deflection of responsibility and then consistent double down up to the point that he was getting swatted and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, well,
yeah. Show.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Just show some compassion for heaven's sakes. The guy lost his character.
So that's why the video is my video is 3 hours long, because I go into the psychology of why people double down and why people try to save face and all this sort of stuff.
That's interesting.
Why you shouldn't.
Barry Frost Nova, like, I don't know.
Whose fault is it? Is the question of all time. That is a Israel Palestine war, right? Whose fault is it?
Yes, true. Speaking of faults, it's actually kind of ironic. Oil King for $5 says, would you guys support changing no fault divorce laws? That's the real conversation of this debate. Also, are you guys married? Well, Adam's married.
I'm married, yes. And I'm
not married yet.
I'm not sure I know enough about the topic to really say, because wouldn't that be a big change? I'm not sure that no fault divorces are bad.
Well, first of all, I'm the part of the unless they get to it later. I mean, I guess I watched on my own and then we watched on stream. I seem like we watched the first hour. I don't remember no fault divorce ever coming up. So maybe it comes up in the second half of the conversation. I know this is like a really big thing. This really big argument that happens in these spaces. I think we had a conversation with Carl or somebody about this like a while ago.
I think it's come up, but we haven't really argued it out.
No, we argued it out once with someone. I don't remember who it was. My position is that I don't see how the state can say, oh, two people of their own volition, they can't just like leave a relationship. To me, that seems like kind of crazy. Like the government is going to tell you that you have to maintain a relationship with someone. That seems very strange to me. So I'm not comfortable with getting rid of no fault divorce. I'd let you know it came up because I think there was some arc where Tim Pool was like very big against no fault divorce, and we had some long conversation about it.
So if you get rid of no fault divorce, you'd be forced to stay in a marriage just because. I mean, what's it matter whose fault it is?
Because I remember the conversation when it came up when, I don't know, it was like a year ago, whenever Tim and stuff was having it. It was like someone was like, oh, you should only be able to get divorced if you can like prove that the person cheated on them or prove that there was like physical abuse or something, which even then it's kind of silly because it's like, okay, well, then if they want to get divorced, then someone will just go and fuck someone, right? And then boom, you have your excuse. So it doesn't really solve the issue anyway.
That's the reason why most women cheat, is to get out of a relationship.
Well, that is true.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the conservative argument of no fault divorce devaluing marriage is probably true, because you do want marriage to be a commitment that you, okay, we're not going to just break up like we're dating. We're going to stick it through and try to make this work because we're married.
But if you're in a bad
there's
marriage,
value.
that's got to be
Yeah.
fucking hell.
No, I agree with that too, because there's value in sticking it out, and maybe it is too easy to get divorced in some instances because people have been abusing that. But also at the same time, do you really want it to be somebody else that makes that determination for you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't think you've been abused enough, so you have to stay. It's like, no, well, no, fuck you.
Even if you married someone that's a complete and total liar, they completely deceived you. You know, they're just after your money. They get in a relationship, and as soon as they're in the relationship, they make your life a living hell. And why would you want to stay in something like that?
Why would you want the state to mandate that you have to stay in a relationship like that? That seems very strange to me.
Right.
Yeah,
That the state would have authority over you like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, where it's like, well, you do want people to be able to leave bad relationships if they're in bad relationships. Just that the conservative counter argument is always something like, well, people leave relationships too often without trying to fix them first.
Yeah, but
And
here's
it's
the
probably true
problem.
partially. That's probably partially true.
Right. But here's the problem.
You can't
There-
fix a relationship unless both parties are trying, though. But go ahead.
Want
Sage.
to, yes.
Yeah.
But here's the problem with a lot of these sort of like postmodern conservative arguments, or I don't know, whatever we want to call them, is that
Don't sitch. No.
I don't know whatever you want to label them, whatever this is, right?
Uh-oh.
This idea, this movement, is I think our country works better when you're like the culture, the social conventions of the culture are a little bit, excuse me, are a little bit more conservative. The government is more libertarian. And so the avocation should be, okay, we can have the government should be libertarian because you don't want like the state violence to be like maintaining that people have to, you know, be in these relationships. But culturally, there needs to be a push that like, okay, you should try to work things out, obviously, especially if you have kids, you should be trying to work things out, you know, more than just like, fuck it. So it should be really a cultural push. It shouldn't be like a legal push. And I think that's kind of the problem with some of these arguments I'm hearing.
See, I agree with you. It's just, I completely agree with you. However, I think the counter argument is that if the government is more libertarian, that means that the true final authority on things has already let go of the slack, and so society will move in a more libertarian position, so that old cultural conservatism will be lost over time. And I mean, we have seen that happen. So
Philosophically, I just don't know if I believe you can force people to work it out.
I don't think you can.
If they put more, this idea that if they just put more time and energy into it, it'll all work out. I don't know that I believe that. You have to have the desire. It all starts with the desire. If you don't have the desire, no one's going to put the effort in and it's going to fall apart. And I don't know why trying to put pressure on people who don't have the desire, who just want it to end, is going to be a good thing.
See, I agree with you, but I think the solution is to, I don't know if the solution is to make it harder to get married, but just marriage has to take up a more important role than it currently is, where people are just getting in and out. They're getting in and out of marriages the same way they get in and out of relationships.
Well, actually, I don't think that's true anymore. I think divorce rates are actually going down.
Because people are getting married older, yeah. They're
Okay,
avoiding
fair enough.
the first marriage where, well, obviously I'm older than both you guys. So in Generation X, everyone, their parents were divorced, right? Because they got married when they were like 20 or 18. So they have a first marriage and then a second marriage and then the second marriage lasts. A lot of people are just avoiding the first marriage, right? You have a girlfriend, you live with someone, and then ultimately you break up and get together with a woman you're going to marry.
Yeah, I think what happened was there was like a huge spike in divorces among a specific generation. Maybe I don't guess it was Generation X or the Boomers or something. And a lot of millennials and I guess a lot of older Zoomers grew up in that environment. But then after that spike, right now I'm looking at the numbers, they're going down. They have been continually trending down. So the conversation might end up becoming moot in that regard. But in terms of counter argument, like yes, if you could do something legally, it's probably going to happen more so. But on the other hand, that's not the end all be all. Like for example, it's never against the law to like cheat on somebody, even though the culture still says it's bad to do it. And maybe we could say, okay, because of cultural permissiveness, cheating has increased, but that shows that it's based on the culture. It's not based on the legality of the action.
Everybody works that out in their own relationship, though. I don't think the culture. I don't think the culture has a big influence, right? If a couple is in an open relationship and they're both cheating on each other, they're not gonna care what the
They're not
culture
cheating. They're in an
thinks.
open relationship.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to define it as cheating, even if the culture does define it as cheating, right? The same if the culture is like everybody should be in an open relationship, if that's the culture. I don't think it is now, but it's definitely moving in that direction. If that couple wants to be a traditional couple, then they have different rules.
I think it was the divorce stuff. I think it, even though now it's trending down again, which is good. It probably trended when there was more of a moving away from collectivist thoughts on morality and marriage to individualist thoughts. Because there used to be a pressure, like your parents didn't want you to get divorced because it would look bad on your parents' name or something, or look bad on the community or something. Where once that kind of goes away and it's like, well, who gives a shit what your parents say or the community says? You're the one in the marriage. Then a lot more people are going to get divorced because they're unhappy, essentially.
Right. But ultimately, you want to find out, how do you have a good relationship? How do you get people into relationships that both parties are happy?
Right.
Which there is kind of a secret sauce to that.
Right. And just to go back again to the no fault divorce thing, I don't know what the numbers are, but I believe, I could be mistaken about this, but I believe that a lot of no fault divorce is done pragmatically, just because they're a divorce someone wants to get divorced or both parties want to get divorced. And they don't want to, like, even if one side feels the other side can be blamed or should be blamed, they don't want to necessarily go through some lengthy legal process, because then if they start blaming the other side, then the other side is going to like defend against it and it's going to like drag everything out. So I think a lot of these no fault divorce cases are basically, even if there was fault, they both just want it to be ended as quickly as possible. So they both just agree to no fault just to get it over with quickly.
Right.
Yep. Fair enough. I guess the best thing to do is just to make sure that you're marrying the right person and don't knock up random people,
Well,
you can never know, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, these people are women are psychopaths, Dev. You don't understand. All they want to do is deceive you and take all of your money.
That's
is
what true.
They want to do.
Oh
that is true. That's completely true.
As soon as you get married, the sex completely stops.
Jesus
got like
Christ.
6 or 7 credit cards.
This sounds like your Schopenhauer arc, Adam.
This isn't my relationship is fine.
Oh, okay, sure.
This is like the red pill philosophy type.
Mm-hmm. Meme Spread for $5 says, "Hey Dave, good to see you back. While I definitely don't care for many of your recent takes, I always appreciate your philosophical political theory videos."
Thanks, man.
Cool.
1995 Eddie V for $2 says, "What are Dev's thoughts on the Canadian election?"
Don't really have thoughts on it, to be honest. Like, I'm just happy Trudeau's gone. But both Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre had some good points to them. I was going to be happy with either of them. I voted Conservative this time, but I'm happy with the guy that came in. I'm just happy Trudeau's gone because he was a fucking nightmare.
Okay, I agree. Mr. Schnitzel for $5 says, "Always great to see Dev here. We need Sitch and Adam on Archcast with Dev and Lumi. Have more base centrist takes to stir the spurks and chat."
Based.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. Instant Sacks for 18 months says, "I've never seen Jay debate. If people call this a good performance, you could probably use his bad days as CIA torture videos."
Ooh, so true.
Sam Josh for $2 says, "Have Dev on more." Definitely.
Okay.
I like
awesome.
like
Sure.
that.
I'll be here every day.
There you go. Well, maybe not that much.
This just kind of came out of nowhere, so it's kind of cool.
He did.
Yeah.
Dev reached out and I just invited him on.
I mean, yeah, I reached out with something completely different, and you're just like, "Hey, you want to come on today about something else?" I was like, sure."
Well, we're streaming today, so we don't stream every day. I just figured
We're streaming today.
Later, so
I like talking to you. Like, hey,
yeah, I didn't even know that you had gone on hiatus. So
We're bad. Amoeba Sheep for 50. Knock Knock says, with all the media talk, I recommend Alien Resident, a fun comedy with an actor great at being a guy playing an alien pretending to be another guy. It always looked funny. I never watched it,
Resident.
but it always looked silly.
Does that have
Memes Brett-
Wash in it? Is that the what is
Does it have what in it?
Wash from Serenity?
Yes.
Okay,
It's that
yeah,
guy. It's that
I
guy.
have seen this show. Yeah, my wife super loves this show. It's good. The episodes I've seen are funny.
Memes Brand for $5 says, this guy's horrible. I'd rather listen to a Xander Hall debate. Wow. P.S. I'd love to see you guys have on Mentis Wave soon. It would be an interesting conversation.
I don't
You guys
know
know
who
Mendes
that
Wave
is.
is? No?
No.
He is a libertarian monarchist.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting is one way to define the conversation.
I mean, you guys have talked to Aiden Palin a whole bunch, so you know what libertarian monarchism is.
Yes.
It's
Of course,
the same
but I don't
ideology
know.
is what you're saying.
I don't know if any of those debates went well, though.
Right.
Okay. Speaking of Xander Hall, did you guys see what his stream today or yesterday? Like his most recent stream?
No.
I didn't even know he was still streaming or alive.
Or alive? I mean, he does look like a skeleton for sure. I don't know if he's going through chemo or what the fuck, because he looks like.
Oh
he's near
really?
death.
Oh my god! What?
Like he's like a skeletal husk of what he
Scary.
used to be at this
That
point.
is scary.
But no, basically he's kind of hopping on. Like I don't know if you saw Innuendo Studios coming around and being like, "I'm poor."
We
I'm
did
fucked
see.
up."
We made fun of that. Yes.
Yeah.
We watched it on Sunday.
I didn't notice. I'm sorry, but like Xander Hall's kind of trying to hitch his train to that current event where he's like, "I'm poor too, guys. Give me money too."
Really?
You know, there's no more bread in the bread tube. You got to give us a
That's
hand.
funny.
Really? Wow. I mean, you did build an audience catering to a bunch of poor socialists. So, I mean, that wasn't very bright.
Yeah. Also, apparently, Innuendo Studios, he has a big channel. He shouldn't be poor. He's made some fucked up decisions with his money.
His
Well, he
views
said he
were not
owned-
great, though.
Well, no. His individual views would be good. He just produced so little content. Like when he put out a video, he'd get good views. It's just he didn't make very many videos. So overall, his views were really low.
I mean, I
And-
did the math on his ad revenue,
Mhm.
and I mean, he would make $175,000 over 10 years.
That's not
That's
good.
not good.
Right.
No.
Right. But
But-
I mean, when we watched his video, he said it was like he owed like something like $60,000 in back taxes, and we're like, how? Like, what was he not just paying taxes for years? Like, what the fuck's going on there?
Yes, it really seems like it's. I mean, he could post more, fair enough, but it also really seems like it's a series of bad financial decisions that have kind of fucked him. And,
Oh, of
and
course.
he's doing like, YouTube's not sustainable. It's like, well, no, you're not sustainable.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah. But anyway,
I guess, because he was making $6,000 on
Patreon,
as well.
yeah. To supplement whatever he was making from YouTube.
The YouTube ad revenue, I did the math, would be about $17,500 a year. So
Also, hold on. Okay,
that's nothing. But
if he owes $60,000 in back taxes, okay, that sucks. Fair enough. But like, if he just starts hammering down on content, put like a video a week, couple videos a week, do some streams, he'd make it pretty quickly. Like, it's not like he has a big channel. You can pull yourself out of this hole, man. Just get to work.
No, you don't understand. Those little like very shittily drawn animated alt-right playbook videos take 3 months to produce each individual one.
okay, fuck this guy. I did the math. He's making $89,000 a year, $89,500 a year if you count the Patreon and the ad revenue. So fuck that. If you can't live off of $90,000 a year, what the fuck? And not only that, normal person has to pay 20% of that in taxes, right? Obviously, he's not paying any of it. No, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. He's got like a gambling problem or a hooker problem or a blow problem. Something's going on here.
And not paying the government problem.
Yeah.
Gotcha games.
That's what I'm saying.
Something's
Yeah.
going on here.
It seems like a total grifter. Unless he explains something that like makes sense, it seems like a total grift or a scam. So
It does. Yeah.
Dr. Diddler for $2 says kick dev. Garyman 502 for $2 says, Dev, you're Canadian. Speak French correctly.
Sorry about that. Can't do it though.
Terrible.
Who cares?
The Mongolian leprechaun man from Saturn for $5. Thank you so much. Says also, such Adam, do you think you could defeat an elephant-sized honey badger? Fuck no.
No, Sitch
Fuck
is.
no.
I'm surprised Sitch actually admits that he couldn't do that.
What, a honey badger? That's giant? Who the fuck would ever say that? That's like a human-sized honey badger would fucking kick your ass, let alone an elephant-sized honey badger.
I mean,
Get
honey
out.
badger-sized honey badgers are pretty badass.
I mean, I think I could beat a honey badger, but I wouldn't want to get into a fight with a normal
You,
honey badger.
I know. You could probably survive, but you
Well, you could just
come
run
out
away from
wounded.
it. Yeah, you could just kick it away from you.
Well, look, you
Just try to
can't run away if it engages. What, you gonna cuck out to a honey badger?
Yeah, yes, it's a honey badger, Adam. You don't fight honey badgers. You're crazy. Honey badger don't give a shit. All right.
Yeah,
This
totally.
sounds like the 100 guys, one gorilla argument.
Okay, I'm sorry.
was going on
That
for a while.
conversation is retarded.
Did you
That
see the
conversation
animation?
is completely
of it?
retarded. 100 guys could easily defeat a gorilla. It's 100 people. That's ridiculous. Yes.
A few of them will
People not
die.
understand like
but-
anything.
Yeah, they don't coordinate. I saw an animation where the gorillas obviously win, but the guys never coordinate. They would so coordinate.
Of course they would. Yeah, if
Yeah.
100 guys just ran at it in a straight line, then yes, they're going to die, obviously. But that's not how it would work. They'd surround the gorilla. They would just keep outmaneuvering the gorilla. You could just tire the gorilla out. There's 100 people. You could just easily tire the gorilla out.
Yeah.
It's very stupid. It's a very stupid conversation.
Yeah. Tire the gorilla out, then strike.
Yes, exactly. You just try to keep getting it to go in different directions and then keep kiting it around.
Yeah.
So, or you just even if like everyone jumped on it, I don't know how many like people could physically jump on a gorilla at once, but I mean, a lot more people would die that way. Amoeba Sheep for 50 knock knock says, turns out if you edit a comment after the creator hearts it, you lose it. Makes sense. I could edit it something bad. Oh, well, thanks anyway, Adams. Yes. If a creator hearts or pins your comment and you edit it, it loses that for that reason. So
Did you lose your heart, Amoeba?
sorry.
Amoeba's
Amoeba.
sad.
Yes.
Well, now you know.
Malik for
Sometimes I
$10
race
says,
in there and I heart it immediately. So
there you go. Can't change it. Malik for $10 says she should have asked him to define Christianity. Ooh, there you go.
oh yeah, the historical stuff.
Metalworks 411.90 for $5 says, really appreciate your recent vid dev about Thor and your mission of doing wrong in the end. Always find your vids educational and well crafted.
Thank you very much, dude.
You're never supposed to admit you're wrong. What are you doing? What are you talking about? How dare you?
No, I had to look inward a bit and figure a few things out because like there's people who are mad at me for a whole bunch of different reasons. And a lot of those reasons I'm just correct on and I'm not going to apologize. And if you're angry about it, fuck you. However, I did for a while, I was like taking every single person who was angry at me and lumping them all in much the same way that Pirate Software did. And I was like, listen, I got to calm the fuck down on this. There are some people who are mad at me and they don't deserve all the scatter shot that I'm putting out. So I apologize to those people.
Is this related to Trump? Is this all on the Trump front?
Oh yeah, it's partially related to Trump for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
lot of right wingers that do not like my anti-Trump takes and stances. But I mean, fuck you, you're wrong. However,
What is your goal? Is your goal to change your mind? I find people never change their mind. I mean, obviously they do, but very rarely.
Yes, yeah. Like I've definitely changed my mind over the years on things, but
Right,
I
right.
think- I
But
think,
what is
like, I think-
what is your goal with these people?
oh, well,
Yeah.
So my goal is to apologize to the people. So first of all, hold on, I gotta explain this more properly. Basically, I guess I'll just give away a section of my video real quick then, just to explain this. So when you want an apology from someone, what you're saying, what you're looking for is you're looking for a confirmation that they are the person you think they are, basically. So like if I've wronged you, Adam, and then you say, hey, you have to apologize to me for this. I mean, maybe there's like financial damages that I have to repay you or something, but what you're really looking for is you have a view of me in your head and you want to make sure that I align with that view. because the view of me in your head is saying, listen, Dev wouldn't actually do this. He's a good guy. And you're saying, hey, you should apologize to me. Not necessarily because I'm owed or my feelings are hurt, but because the good guy that I think you are would do that. And if I refuse, if I double down and say, no, fuck you, I'm not going to apologize to you, suddenly now you have to reevaluate what you thought of me this whole time.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
I
a
would be
huge-
asking you to admit that you were wrong.
Sure.
That's what I'm asking you to do. And if you didn't do
Okay.
anything wrong, then there's no reason for you to admit that you're wrong. You can show sympathy.
Mhm.
If something bad happened to you, I would show sympathy to you. But if it wasn't my fault, I would be like, why the hell are you asking me to apologize for something that it's not my fault?
Right. But I guess where I'm going with this is like, if you've done something and the other person wants you to apologize, they're looking for you to confirm what they think of you. And sometimes you have to, well, hold on. Just because sometimes you have to say, hold on, you actually have a completely wrong view of me because I don't think I need to apologize for this. I
Right.
think you're unreasonable for asking me to apologize. I think I was right here actually. And I don't think that the offense that you've taken is reasonable. So I'm not going to apologize for this. And sometimes that means that you lose viewers,
Oh, that
and you
always
lose financial
gets them,
support and
yeah.
all that. Yeah. But
I
like,
apologize if I offended you.
but basically I laid out a list of reasons for things that I'm not going to apologize for because I'm just correct on these. And then I said, okay, putting those aside, there are a bunch of people that I've treated you unfairly because I acted like you believed in those things when you actually didn't. And I was just scattershotting at everyone who was coming at me. And for those of you who got hit in the crossfire, I am sorry because you didn't deserve to be treated like that by me. And so I apologize to those people. But there's yeah, that was basically what the apology was about. Because, for example, there are people who think that I've like backstabbed Sargon because I don't hang out with him anymore. And it's like, well, hold on, you guys don't know what happened. Like, I wasn't the backstabber in that situation, actually. So,
Carl backstabbed you?
no, it wasn't like that. But like, I didn't backstab him. Is the point? It's like they didn't know.
Well, we haven't hung
what
out with
happened.
Carl in a long time either, but I mean, I'm sure we're on good terms, and there's no hard feelings here or anything.
I mean the TLDR of it is that Rags and V continuously got into fights during Sargon's D&D streams because we were all playing tabletop together, and V decided to like freak out, storm out of the game, walked away, completely embarrassed himself and us on stream, came back in to shriek at Rags some more. It was a whole fucking shit show. And then over the break till the next week, Sargon decides to turn around and kick Rags out and reinvite V back to the game.
Is this Rags from EFAP or a different
Yes.
Rags?
This is Rags from EFAP, yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot
is?
more
Really?
context.
Okay.
There's a lot more
Wow.
context to this. Like I'm speedrunning the story because we don't have time for it today. There's a lot more to this, and you could make a good argument.
Make
for
time
both
for
sides.
this. Jeez, this
But
sounds like some good drama.
basically, basically, Rags was like, "Listen, I just got shrieked at. I was made fun of. It's fucking embarrassing." And then Sargon turns and we all agree on air that V's out, and Sargon turns around, reinvites V. We all stream the next week. Rags is gone, and no one wants to talk about it. And I'm like, guys, are we just not going to mention the fact that V's been reinvited and Rags was kicked out? And so I bring it up, and then Sargon says, "Oh yeah, Rags chose to leave the game." And I was like, "No, he fucking didn't. You kicked him out."
When
Like,
did this happen? This juicy drama.
This happened last May. So it's been
It's a year.
It's a year
been
ago.
a year ago.
Fucking
It's been a
old
fucking-
drama.
yeah,
Holy shit.
Yeah. So basically I was like, listen, like you can't just lie about what Rags wanted. Like you kicked, like at least have the stones to say you kicked the guy out. At least say that, Sargon. And he was like, well, I was like, no, you kicked him out.
Well, first of all, I'm personally offended that Sitch and I have never been invited to this D&D thing. So, I mean, fuck you guys.
So this was a huge drama, and Rags was embarrassed. I don't blame him, and he's like, he walked away from the group. He's like, I'm fucking done with this bullshit. And then I was kind of disappointed about how no one in the group wanted to really like own up to what the fuck just happened. And then I sat down with some other YouTubers who aren't in the political space, but they do like watch all of us, right? And they said, listen, man, we've been watching your debates during these D&D streams with Sargon and V, and over the past like 6 months to a year, they've devolved from friendly debates to clearly they're just shitting on you, and you need to like have a bit of a backbone here. And you need to figure out what like you need to
What?
look.
Who's
And so
they're saying that to you?
yeah, and then
Oh,
well,
that's
no,
not comfortable. That's not
well,
comfortable at all.
well, we sat down and we rewatched a bunch of the debates, and they pointed out, it's like, listen, if you were debating me and we disagreed here, I wouldn't treat you like this. I wouldn't say this about you, and I wouldn't try to like laugh it off because you're being treated poorly by these guys that you think are your friends. And it was like a 6-hour conversation where I had to like basically come to grips with the fact that they weren't treating me all that nicely, frankly. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
I've always been the dude who's like, I'm the happy guy who apologizes all the time, the Canadian, smooth things over, be nice. And I just came to realize that like that was on some level being taken advantage of by some people. So I walked away from that entire friend group and I peaced out.
Sometimes
I'm
the
just gonna-
audience can get in your head, though. Sometimes these are innocent interactions that can't. Obviously, you don't know the intent of the people involved. It's hard for me to imagine that Carl was really disrespecting you, or if Arch or Rags or any of those guys were legitimately disrespecting you. But I'm sure the interactions could be.
Arch and Rags were not. For
Who?
sure.
So who?
It was Sargon and V, yes.
Well,
and-
look, I said Carl. So
Yeah.
and V. The Romanian guy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Does it matter? What was the V Rags argument about? Does that matter?
They just have completely like opposing personalities, oil and water. The way they played
It
the
wasn't
game
political. It was just some personality
no,
drama.
just the way they played the game. They just hated each
They
other.
were fighting about the game.
Yeah, in a lot of senses. In a lot of
I
senses,
thought it
yes.
was like a political thing.
No.
Oh my god! Like, how dare you use that fireball spell on that innocent homeless man? We should have given him our bread. Fuck you, you bitch! I'm gonna kill all the homeless people.
It was kind of like that because Rags was playing a very like lawful good character, and everyone else was like murder hobos, and there were yes, yeah. Diddler and Tidge in the chat. They watch the whole thing go down. They know what's going. Dev tolerated.
Wow. Okay.
Well, so earlier when we were talking about this fucking retard and erudite debating,
Wait.
the
Before you finish, Sketch says it was dead ass an argument about giving an orc a bat.
that was the straw that broke the camel's. That's why V flipped the table and screamed and left over giving an orc a bath. Yes, yeah.
Giving
That
an
is
orc
amazing.
a bath.
Yeah,
A bath?
a bath.
What's wrong with that?
Okay, so
That's so good.
when we were talking about the debate earlier, when I pointed out that the guy wanted to take a bunch of positions that Erudite didn't hold, put them in a basket, and make her hold them, and then that's how he would win the debate. When I went with those other guys, I went back and watched a whole bunch of like 6 hours worth of debates on Arch's channel with Sargon and V, and I realized like the past, I don't know, like half a dozen debates at least, they had both done the same thing to me. They had said, well, you're a liberal, therefore you must believe XYZ, and now I'm going to argue against XYZ, and when you object, we're just going to say, well, you're a liberal, you believe this. And I was like, hold on, this, and I looking back on it myself, rewatching these VODs myself, I realized this isn't how people argue in good faith. This isn't how friends treat other friends. I shouldn't.
That's every conversation we've had with Carl, but like, fuck it. Who cares? That's just, that's what he does. He wouldn't agree to a definition of middle class. Holy fucking shit.
Well, I'm going to assume that I was probably closer friends with him than you guys are, because like we played games together all the time. We were like,
we only talked on stream.
Yeah. We had like a private Discord. We played games all the time. We talked like every day. Like there was like a core friend group of us, and I was like, listen, I don't think I should be. This is a person I consider to be a good friend. I don't think I should be being treated like this.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's
so
frustrating.
So I walk from the friend group, and I still talk to Arch and Rags quite a bit. But like ever since then, there's been people who are like, Dev backstabbed Sargon and V, his closest friends. He's a snake. You can't trust him. And like that was kind of the beginning of the decline of my channel. And then after that, there was like Trump related stuff. There was politics takes. There was a whole bunch of things. But like that was the moment.
So
where, like,
are they sabotaging your channel, or you're just
no. I'm not going to sit here and say that Sargon and V are doing anything negative to me now. No,
right.
Absolutely not. They have not sent people after me. They haven't done anything like that. V like occasionally farms me for videos, but here's the thing. He did that for like a year before I stopped talking to him. And I even asked him not to fucking do that because aren't we supposed to be friends here? And he was like, "Oh, what the fuck, man?" Okay, it was frustrating.
Why does our chat want us to get involved with this sewing circle? I'm not sure.
I don't think he does. I think Arch just likes the chaos of it. He likes to like see like things go up in flames.
Well, no, our chat is saying that why aren't we involved in this? And I'm thinking, well, maybe we shouldn't be involved in this. I don't know.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Sargon actually has apologized to me privately and publicly for what.
Really? Okay.
And I appreciate that. I was
What
like,
a
you know
cuck.
what? I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Fair enough. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you've apologized. So I mean, V hasn't and V won't, but you know, credit where credit is due. He apologized, and I was like, you know, thank you very much.
There's nothing wrong with apologies.
I do believe that I was wronged, in fact. But that was the moment where like, because I gained a lot of my initial like viewers from Sargon crossovers, right? So when that happened, I started losing those viewers, and they were like, "Oh, you've backstabbed them. I can't believe you." Then since then, there was like
a lot of viewers from Carl. Obviously, Carl helped us get our start, so we have overlap as well.
I have something to say about your video, though, Dev. This is very important.
Which one?
The one you just released.
Okay, what's up?
Okay, I didn't watch this video, and I didn't even know it was your video, and I'll tell you why. I was on my YouTube feed because usually I see your videos pop up in my recommended, and I watch them. But I saw a video that popped up, and I just saw a guy holding roaches, and I said, "I'm not watching this video," and so I just looked away from it because it disgusted me. So I'm just saying, maybe your thumbnail is a little off-putting. I didn't even know it was your video. I was like, "Why is there a guy holding giant bugs in his hands? This is gross."
The funniest thing about it is that my YouTube analytics are saying people are clicking on this video like mad from the front page right now.
Okay, so listen, fuck me, right? I don't get it. It's like there's all those like weird videos from that have like those like really horrifically disgusting thumbnails.
Yeah, totally.
That have 14 million views, and I'm like, who's clicking on this shit? So I don't know. Maybe I'm the odd one for like not clicking on gross thumbnails.
I'm the same way, Sitch. I don't want to click on that stuff either, but the YouTube community differs.
I guess so.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I didn't know what to do for the thumbnail, but like there was a picture of him holding giant mushrooms, and everyone calls him a roach for roaching out of the Dire Mall run. So I was like, you know what? You can hold giant roaches. I can Photoshop this.
Okay, it worked. Listen, don't all this to me.
People who know the memes of the story, like Pirate Software being a roach, they see that and they're like, "Yep, I get it."
Sammy in the chat says, "I'm not a wimp like Sitch. I clicked it with no fear." I was like,
based.
Sammy. It's funny because you said before Sammy came in the chat, you said that Sammy never finished your Trump video, your January 6th video.
She did, yeah.
And the reason for that is because we were watching it together, and we had to pause it. I think 20 minutes, 30 minutes in
to fight.
We had a 3-hour debate from your video, Dev, that spawned into 6 multi-universal, multiverse hypothetical conversations. Okay.
So you guys should sit down and finish it, by the way.
We got to finish it. That's
you
true.
You got to finish it.
We got to go back and finish it. We got to resolve the multiverses.
So the Sargon stuff was the flashpoint. And then I was kind of in like a more weakened position. You know, at that point, people start hopping on with other dramas. So like the VTuber Kirsch dropped a document on me that was fucking ridiculous. A 300-page document that no one read. And this included screenshots proved absolutely nothing about me, but everyone just says that I did it anyway. And I'm like, do you guys even fucking read this? Or do you just follow the e-girl that you follow? That's basically what it is. So then after that, Aiden Paladin hopped on. And then she did like, I think a 3-hour stream where she was like drunk and crying and doing all this ridiculous fucking nonsense. Aiden Paladin blamed me for what Kraut did back in 2017. I didn't even know Kraut in 2017.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I swear to God, dev derangement syndrome is a real fucking thing because all these people are retarded. Every single fucking one of them. And I'm like, okay, I need to like somehow start like compiling all this evidence that everyone's been dropping on me that's all ridiculous and, you know, respond to this stuff at some point. But then like got evicted in August. Then I had fucking COVID in September. Then the election shit came out. and then the medical stuff happened by January. Dude, this year's been like a shit show for me. This past
Wow.
12 months has been like I've had the worst 12 months in a long time, frankly.
So maybe it's best to step away from the drama for a bit. Just step away from the internet.
No, I'm getting right back to it now. I'm gonna drop all my shit on these people. Fuck these fucking losers.
Oh, really?
I'm
Okay.
coming for
Look at
'em.
this. You've compiled your response, and now you're ready to go for blood.
I'm ready. I've been waiting.
Well, make sure you
Nice.
put Aiden Paladin in the thumbnail so I can like drop in on the drama. Although,
That's terrible.
look, Aiden and I have always been on good terms, even though we totally box on whenever we're on stream together. So, but look, I don't let stuff like that get under my skin. I think the audience can come in there and really cause you to see things in a different light. That can.
So see, like I agree with you there for sure. But one, this was not just like YouTubers that I'm friendly with. Like Sargon was a close friend for a long time.
Right.
We like.
Well, he
we-
apologized.
We
and
hung
said-
out like we hung out like off YouTube and like off streams and stuff. We like he helped me out with some pretty serious stuff over the years. Like we've been friends for I think it was like an 8-year friendship at one. Like I think when it finally was over, and it's like this was not just someone who I'm friendly with and I go on their stream sometimes.
No, I
Like,
get it. I get it. But
yeah.
look, it's an interpretation of the interactions that you're having. Sitch and I completely beat up on each other all the time, and people could come in and like reimagine that as disrespect, but we have the utmost respect for one another. So, and I don't know the situation between you and Carl, but if he
completely fair,
actually
yeah.
if he actually came out and apologized, it's hard for me to imagine that he doesn't have any respect for you.
Well, that's the thing. Right? Okay, hold on. Let me just be very clear. I'm describing what happened last year and how I felt last year.
Right.
He has
Okay.
apologized to me, and I do appreciate that apology now. It's like okay.
Right,
thank you very much.
right. Yeah.
No, I'm describing like 1 year ago what was going on then. Yeah.
The audience,
Okay.
a lot of times the audience goal is to get under your skin. They want you
Yeah.
to see this as,
Well,
oh my God, you're going to
well,
let him
the-
get away with that? He's completely disrespecting you.
The second point is that the people who approached me, these weren't like just random audience members.
Mhm.
There were other YouTubers who are.
It was
like,
V.
No, much bigger than me, more along the size of Sargon, who are like, listen, you know that we don't talk politics on our channel because we don't want to get fucking canceled, but you know that we generally agree with you guys, like over who are like center, like kind of center right, like we agree with you guys.
We
But,
agree
like,
with you,
having-
but we're too chicken shit to talk about that on our channel.
Dude, it happens all the time. I don't know if you know, but like, there's a lot of people who don't talk politics on their channel who are like, I fucking hate woke nonsense. I think everyone hates woke nonsense now. But
Right,
basically,
yeah.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
just-
These guys were like, listen, we've been watching you since the skeptic anti SJW days of like 2016, and we've watched these online reactions that you've had with these people grow more and more toxic, and like you gotta like, but then I was like, I had when we first started having this conversation, I had your position. I was like, listen, we're just joking around, guys. Like it's just like this is just it's fine. But then you're like, no. We went back, we looked over like specific examples, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't feel very good when that happened. Yeah, you're right. I did ask them to tone it down. They didn't, and they didn't stop. Yeah, like they were right about everything. They were very perceptive, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to rethink what's going on here. And so I did. I thought about it for a long time. And I talked to my girlfriend about it, and I was like, what do you think about this stuff? And
But
I
your
kind of
your perception of it isn't the reality of the situation, though. You don't know if the people involved were actually attempting to disrespect you, or if they're just horsing around.
That's true. That's true. However, I do know that there were many times where I took it poorly, but to just not cause any sort of like waves in the friendship. I was always the one who was like, yeah, like I was always the guy who was like, you know what? I didn't really like that, but let's not like fight. I'll just put it to bed. And was
Right.
me repeatedly and almost never them. And I was like, something's wrong here. Something's wrong with how this is repeatedly playing.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready to move on?
And- I mean, I guess, but yeah,
We
here-
we should go anyway.
Just
'cause-
just very quick. I'm talking about how this was last year. Sargon has apologized. Don't go running to him being like, Dev fucking hates. He's apologized to me. I appreciate his
shit! I
apology.
shouldn't hit send on this DM to Carl. Oh shit!
Oh.
I was about to say, what the fuck? Why are you mistreating Dev? He's still crying about it.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not gonna. No, obviously we won't say anything. I haven't talked to Carl in forever. People keep wanting us to invite him on. So,
So,
I
we
mean,
just asked, is Dev pro cancel culture? No. I mean, I think I have a more sophisticated view of what cancel culture is now than I did 5 or 6 years ago, but generally, no. No.
Old School for 29 months. Thank you so much. Says, I'm reading some of Jay's scholarly work. Wow, it's trash. Oof. Oof. Oof.
ooh, Jay Dyer not
Look at that.
getting the approval of Old School.
Gutterling for $10 says, Not So Erudite is going to deny every one of his claims by saying it's not her kind of feminism. It's off the rails, but it's because of her. I said it. I stand by what I said. I think it's the framing of the conversation, because feminism is so broad that you're not going to find anyone probably who supports feminism who's going to be like, oh yeah, I support all of feminism. Even though, and I agree, her definition I thought was way too vague in the beginning. So, but you do have to tamp down on what exactly the conversation's about.
Of course, you can't. What are you even defending if you don't have a definition?
Right.
So
Now,
stupid.
what you could bring up when you tap down on the definition of feminism is you could say, okay, and I don't know if she's doing this because I haven't watched enough of her content to comment on this, but you could say like, oh, listen, I feel like you're being kind of snaky with the definition of feminism, because even if you mean it only in this like very positive way that I would agree with, most other people, I believe, interpret it in a more negative way, or interpret it having like smuggling and all these other concepts. And so I think you are also either wittingly or unwittingly smuggling in these concepts that you think are bad in this conversation.
Right.
Kyle for 10 Canadian says, Dev, Sitch, Adam, would you be willing to have a chat with Karlin Borsenko? The last few years, she's been going undercover, streaming various socials groups, and does a great job breaking down modern left beliefs.
We've had her on
blocked me.
before. I mean,
She blocked me, so no.
Okay.
I'll talk to her, but I don't think she wants to talk to me. Yeah.
why did she block you?
I think because she's just overly sensitive, frankly. I actually don't know why. It was just like I gave her like the slightest of pushback on Twitter, and then it was like the most milquetoast critique,
Wow.
and then she's like, "I'm not going to deal with these fucking communists." It's like, okay.
Oh, she called you a communist? Oh, wow.
I think so.
Wow. Huh. I mean, I wouldn't object to talking to her. She's an interesting character. She's been on before, so.
I used to see her yelling about stuff on X constantly. I don't know. And then it just disappeared. So.
Yeah. She was a big defender of James Lindsay. I don't know if she still is.
I think, no, she was, but then I think, didn't she become like a super hater of James Lindsay?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't understand that trajectory.
I don't think
there's I don't think there's anyone that I really like that I became a hater of.
Our Hilt's Hurt, look at that, for $2 says, how do we get a Sitch and Adam D&D stream? That'd be fun.
Well, we've played D&D before.
It wasn't on stream though.
No, but we could.
We should do that.
Do people want this? There's not enough time in the day for all the shit people want. They want us basically to play video games.
Wants it, okay? Everyone wants it. Everyone wants the Sitch and Adam extended universe, Adam. Why do you fight? You
mentioned something about the D&D stream saying that they were like hobo killers or something like that. I mean, I'm a hobo killer.
That was Adam. The one time we played D&D,
Is that
he's
bad?
like, he literally he was like a dragon character. I forget what race it was. He was some kind of dragon character that had like a once a day fire breath. And then you literally wasted it to like
on
murder
a hobo,
like a homeless person asking for money.
In fairness to me, I think I got 3 shots of it, but I did waste one of them on a hobo.
Yeah.
But look, I've been demoralized. We've been playing for hours and we hadn't even stumbled upon anything to kill. The hobo was the first engagement.
I was like, I need to kill something. Then finally a human walks up to you. I killed him.
I freed him from his oppressive life.
Oh man.
All right.
Fuck, dude. I recall actually in that last D&D campaign. So Rags was being swarmed by a crowd of peasants who all wanted. They were like lepers.
My dream.
So Rags is a paladin, and he has like a once a day heal disease. So he healed one leper of his leprosy.
Oh,
and all
man.
these lepers were like crowding him, like, heal me too. He's like, I can't do it till tomorrow. And like, but they wouldn't listen to him. So they're crowding him. So he decides to like roll strength to nudge his way through the crowd. And he critically succeeds on the strength roll and kills a leper accidentally. by pushing him over, and he just falls and dies.
Mm.
And it's like, what the fuck? I love D&D because there's always ridiculous moments like that.
Oh, JMac for $20. Let me GM for Adam. There are laws in my world and consequences for breaking them. Look, I would love to do if JMac's going to DM because
that would be
that's
fun,
the
yeah.
key. You got to have a
Right.
good DM. Yeah, got to
That would
have
be
someone.
Okay. Yeah. You guys want to stream it once a week? Let's do it.
You're not going to fuck with me, are you? I've had those.
You better fuck with him.
I've had those. I've had those GMs that do fuck with you, and that is always. That's never good.
Mm-hmm. Well, as Potato brought up in the chat, which I agree with, if he rolls a 20, it shouldn't kill the hobo. It should. Rolling a 20 means you succeed the best possible thing at whatever you're trying to do. Doesn't mean that you like over succeed.
The way that Sargon interpreted it is
see, that's the GM fucking with you right there.
Yes,
he rolled
100%.
a 20. He rolled a 20 on strength, so you were just so strong that when you like nudged him aside, he flew into a wall.
I get it.
and
I get
died.
it. But it's
Yeah.
not really how it should have worked. But
Yeah.
anyway. But no, that'd be fun. 3 of us, maybe a 4th if we find someone. Do a
Sure.
JMac D&D session. I read that one. Malik for $5 says Andor was originally supposed to be 5 seasons. The second season condensed the last 4 into 1. Maybe that was a good thing. Maybe they didn't have enough content for 5 seasons.
Did they actually write 5 seasons though? Because I've heard this
No.
before that he wanted 5 seasons.
Right.
And they said, no, you get 1 season. So he condensed it down.
Mm-hmm.
But he, when you have in your head enough material for 5 seasons is a lot different than they actually sat down and wrote 5 seasons worth of material. And everyone was like, this is fucking fantastic. Let's turn it into 1 season.
Right.
Yeah.
Dr.
I mean,
Adam,
that is what basically destroyed Arcane season 2. It was like 4 fucking story arcs compressed into 1 season, and it sucked.
Excuse me, I'm sneezing. Dr. Adam Refriended Brigadier General for $10 says, part 1 of 3. Oh, well, thank you for $30. I'll read them all together. I have to disagree with a lot of feminism, not just specific type of or wave. Each iteration stripped away reasons for men and women to be part of relationship, partnership, or community. Same happened with women. It all became too much. Maybe liberal feminism alone would have been tolerable since parts of it align with the U.S. Constitution, but even that went too far. Overall, feminism twisted the true meaning of family, submissiveness, and obedience. Most people no longer understand these words in traditional sense thanks to liberalism and feminism. I mean, first of all, I don't agree with the overall critique of how that relates to liberalism. I think the way that you have to conceptualize these movements, and this is true of everything, is that there's always going to be people in the movement that are like more radical and more moderate. And once the moderates achieve whatever their version is, the radicals are going to always just keep pushing and pushing and pushing because that's what they want some extreme view. And I don't think it's fair necessarily to say because of the slippery slope idea that the moderate or the moderate concepts that were being asked for should be taken away. Because at the same token, you can make the opposite argument and say, well, the repressiveness of society is what creates the movement in the first place, is what breathes life into the allowing the radicals to take place, to even gain power in the first place. You can kind of see the same thing with sort of like why a lot of the anti-Jewish stuff, why a lot of the anti or the pro-white racist stuff, a lot of the white nationalist stuff has gained more prominence because of the attacks on white people, because of the racism against white people. So that's why I would say to be careful with sort of this whole like, well, if the slippery slope is true, then so is that also applies to the people that are repressing the movement in the first place, repressing people's rights in the first place, which leads to the revolutionary movement even forming.
I do agree.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
I do agree that feminism does put a spin on it. And that's when I brought up the service or self-sacrifice. You can spin service or self-sacrifice as submissiveness, but I don't think it's helpful. Society needs people to serve, to be. Service is important. Self-sacrifice is important. It makes society work. And framing that as, oh, you're just a fucking cuck, I don't think is helpful.
That's slave morality, Adam.
Yeah, totally. It's not helpful.
You have to go back to pre-Christian heroic morality where you just conquer people and
look,
you lord over them.
this is part of the problem with feminists. They've framed being a devoted wife and mother and serving your kids and your family as being the cuck. That's fucking horrible. That is horrible.
100%. Right.
Yeah, there's obviously like positive and negative ways you can be in a marriage and be a mother and all this stuff. Like there are obviously times where a husband abuses a wife and she's like, well, dude, fucking being a wife sucks. I don't want to be like, I don't want to have this life. It's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. There's obviously good and bad ways to do everything. When it comes to the slippery slope fallacy, I think you're pretty much on the nose, Sitch, but there's some sets of ideas that just due to the nature of what those ideas are, they lend themselves more to people falling down a slippery slope than others.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can be in a situation where, hey, even though you're a moderate, I'm still going to critique this ideology, and I'm going to critique it by talking about its radical members, because just due to the precepts of the ideology, radicals are more likely to appear. And then there are some ideologies where it's like, okay, there's radicals in every group, but like clearly this ideology, the way it's set up, the ideas don't lend themselves well to radicalism, so you've kind of like misinterpreted.
Sure. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. But it's kind of like it's the same thing with the men's rights movement, which is there are a lot of critiques that men's rights movement have that I think are completely valid and do merit concern. There is a lot of sexism against men currently right now, and that has led to the manosphere even existing in the first place. Is that feeling? The manosphere only exists because a lot of men feel like there's sexism and unfairness aimed towards men in society. So in order to critique, I'd say in order to critique the manosphere correctly, you have to say, okay, well, if society hadn't, become anti-male, then the manosphere probably wouldn't have even come into being in the first place. So.
Yep.
Okay. Lethal Strain for $5 says, I don't have to outrun the mobs, just other players. Wow, rule number 1. Rule number 2, play a hunter and feign death. There you go.
Yep,
Everyone hates hunters. Nobody likes hunters. It's like the most hated
I played
class.
a lot of hunter.
Oh, of course you did. Oh, fucking course you did. Were you a night elf hunter too, you motherfucker?
No. I always played horde.
Okay, at least you weren't so bad.
Yep.
God,
so
hunter.
I always did. Well, to be fair, I also played a lot of blood elf hunter when TBC came out.
Oh,
so
the blood. Oh, you fucking piece of shit. The blood elf. I can't believe you.
I was always that fucking shaman asshole who would roll up and then just like win fury you out of existence for no reason.
Oh, in vanilla? God, you're an asshole. I had a very strict, like, I would never ever start a fight with anyone. Okay. I would end a fight if I needed to, but I would never start a fight.
Everyone says that.
Funny.
That's why listen, the worst thing I would do, okay. The worst thing I would do.
Kill a hobo in the street.
No, listen. The worst this is what I would do but I feel like somewhat justified, okay. And I'm probably being an asshole here. But I would never, there's a lot of people who they play WoW, they'd run around and fly around and they just murder people that don't have there's no fucking way that they can fight back. Which I always thought was like lame. I just thought it was like pathetically lame.
My
Nothing
pleasure.
they could do about it. Yes. But what I would do is I think I'd do this a lot in Burning Crusade. Is when I think that was like after, or I don't remember if it was Burning Crusade or Wrath, but I'd have my rogue go into Goldshire and I would kill the NPCs. And so I'd be like tanking all these NPCs and I'd be trying to like trick the lobies into flagging themselves by attacking me. So like, oh look, this guy's getting like hit by like 10 guards. I can definitely attack this one undead rogue. And then I turn around and like one shot them in van.
Yeah, I
felt less bad about that. So
the incredible wars in the Barrens when like the Alliance would just raid Crossroads and destroy it. And it's like, well, I'm trying to quest here. They just get raped instantly.
Yes. The most fun I ever had in WoW was during the Wrath release when they had the plague ship crates everywhere where if you touch them, you become a zombie and you could like touch other people and make them become zombies. And suddenly like everywhere you walked was just everyone trying to kill everyone. There was no teams anymore. It was just zombies everywhere.
Yeah,
so
I remember that too.
And people would get
I did a lot of that.
So fucking mad. They're like, I'm just trying to quest and the entire town is filled with zombies. I'm like, fuck you. I played Head's Game for like 3 years. Okay, we have something different for 1 week. You can fucking suck it up. Stop
Okay, so
crying.
I think probably the most toxic I was ever in the game was during Wrath. At that point, I was playing a warrior. And
Hmm.
I was a pretty geared up warrior. Okay. And so I'd
Hmm.
see people like you know how you do like you fly around. Usually you fly around in Ice Crown. You like Ice Crown Glacier. You'd be looking for Serenite. You'd be like there's the I don't know if you remember this, but there's like the normal mining route where you go like in a U shape
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I know all that nonsense.
people would do the U runs farming Serenite. And what I do, I had this massively like overgeared warrior. I drop on them
Ch-
from
In
from,
charge.
from, from my flying mount. So
Hmm.
I'd land, I'd take like 80% of HP damage, but they
Okay.
still couldn't kill me because I was ridiculously overpowered. And
Okay.
then as they're trying to mine, I would just hit whirlwind and stand there. I wouldn't try to dodge. I wouldn't do any other ability. I would just whirlwind and like I'd kill them. And it was the most disrespectful fucking toxic play because they would like log on like alts from the other faction and just like swear at me. Say I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm
That's
like they never could because
that's
I
so
had way too
mean.
good gear.
That's so mean.
It's like I'm not even gonna like target you. I'm not gonna focus you. I'm not gonna actually attack you. I'll just whirlwind and just let the cleave damage kill you for no reason.
Wow. What? Look at this jerk.
It was
That would be really
yeah
obnoxious. I'm just like mining. All of a sudden, this guy drops on my head. I'm like, what the fuck is
yeah
happening?
like a spinning whirlwinding warrior drops
Yes.
on his head, nearly kills himself, and you just die in one
Yes.
hit. And it's like,
Oh
well,
my God. That's terrible. The only other mean thing I did was there was some bug where if you were a Death Knight and you death grip someone when they were on the Booty Bay boat,
mhm.
it bugged out. Instead of you pulling them, it would like send them on a 15-minute journey through the floor of the world. And they couldn't move, but you'd literally fly through the floor. It's really fun if you look up videos of this. You'd fly through the floor stuck, like you were forever falling, and then you'd land in a boat in a void that the only way to get
Yes,
off of was to hearth away. And so
yeah,
when that bug existed, I spent at like 24/7 all day, like for a week in that spot, just like getting it. It's been funny because there's always their death night. So it's like this, like fucking, like everyone's like trying to like pull each other. And it was like the strategic game of like chiming your anti magic shell to like not get death gripped to like oblivion.
I remember that, and the reason that it was set up like that is because the boats like they move, right. They're part of the scenery. They're not part of the scenery, so they're moving around.
Right.
And the actual place where the boat teleports in between maps is like under the map. That's how they
Is
coded
that
it.
void? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're sitting on the boat and you death grip someone, it sends you to the coordinates where the boat
Where
actually
the boat
is.
is supposed to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that was so much fun. Mr. Ubercross, thanks so much for $10. Says the basis for the government being involved is that the government has an interest in the well-being. Oh, my thing just crashed. One day I'll get more.
Has
Man.
an interest
Let's
in
talk
the
about WoW
well-being
more.
of the children and the
Mhm.
care of those children not falling into
Oh, that's about marriage.
onto the
shoulders
shoulders,
of the
of the state. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the government wants to control marriage so that children are cared for by their parents and not cared for by the government.
That's why they don't want people getting divorced.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think you could say that the state has an interest in these things, has an interest, a care, but doesn't, again, to me, is that interest reach the threshold to say that you're not allowed to get divorced? I'd say no. And I would actually argue that if the state did say that, it would lead to much worse outcomes, not better outcomes for both the relationship and the children. Because I think it would lead to much more neglect and abuse at that point.
I think that's probably the case too.
And also, like when a lot of people get divorced, I mean, it's not necessarily going to mean like that the state is going to have to start paying for the kids because usually, you have alimony and things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
the quote for £5 says such debates remind me of an old Polish film, Sex Mission. Two men destroy a feminist utopia ruled by an old man who is afraid to have sex. Wow. There you go.
It's quite a storyline.
Oil King for $5 says if you made a promise till death in marriage, then commit to it. Otherwise, then make a better contract. If you don't fix the issue, monarchy will rise. Well, to answer the question backwards, I'm very skeptical that like monarchism is going to come back in America because of no fault divorce. But in terms of the death till you part thing, I think the issue with that is I think there's very few people who like literally mean that when they say it whatsoever. I don't think that's like the thought process. I don't think people really believe they're entering marriage with like a blood oath. Because if they did, they would just say like they just wouldn't say that. And then would that and I guess you get in this kind of like, well, does that change? Like if you don't say the magic words when you get married, you just don't say till death do us part when you get married. Does that suddenly make like no fault divorce acceptable to you? I would assume not. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure the argument should be crafted around like the language that people use, if that makes sense. Cameraman 502 for $10 says on no fault divorce, its effect as a benefit to equality or to harm marriage is overblown. Fault divorce were not all that difficult to get. It was hard because of the culture. New York NYS only got no fault divorce in 2010. Yeah, that's my assumption. So is that it was more cultural than legal. I'd be interested to see like an actual breakdown analysis of that. So Potato for 20 knock knock says, have you seen that Innuendo Studios went bankrupt? Yes. Yeah, we talked about that.
We think he's lying, though.
We think he's lying, yeah. Valve Go for $20 says, did you guys hear about the Canada polling data? Top issues for boomers is healthcare and sticking it to Trump. Least important for them is making Canada a better place to live in issues like housing, economy, cost of living. I did see that poll.
That's
I don't know if it was
hilarious.
active, but I did see that poll that for that age group, sticking to Trump was the most important thing. So,
I mean, it sounds funny from the outside, but from up here, the view is like, holy shit, Canada! Trump wants to make Canada the 51st state. Let's like, if you want to rally a population against you, go on the offensive against them. They will rally like nobody's business.
Well, all this says is the boomers have money, right? They're worried about health care because they want to live long and spend all that money. They're not worried about the economy or housing because they have houses and the economy is great for them.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that polling really shows. It shows the intergenerational wealth income
disparity.
Divide.
Yeah.
Right.
That's definitely true. I mean, I think for younger people, Trump was still pretty important in that poll as well. He wasn't a nothing burger.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing, but it was.
What I find really funny about this whole situation is that if you go back, like go back and watch like 2016 Sargon and like other people who were talking about Brexit whenever, I think that happened in 2016. I think or
it did. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So a lot of the rhetoric from the pro-Brexit side, when they were being more honest, like Sargon was, is they were saying, listen, it doesn't matter that we might take an economic hit here. What matters is our sovereignty. All right, like we will accept higher priced goods. We will accept worse trade deals if that means we are a sovereign nation again and not beholden to the EU. It's like, okay, fair enough. But those same people, they can't look at Canada and be like, oh, they want to be sovereign. They can't see it from the same point of view because that's the same thing happened in Canada where people were saying, listen, maybe we'll get economically hurt by decoupling from the United States, but we need to be sovereign from them now that Trump wants us. It's the same argument and they don't see it.
I mean, I think Canada could make a good argument that Trump is, acting unfair, unhinged about the trade shit and the tariffs and all this other stuff. That he's throwing out to every country, including to Canada and Mexico. I don't think the whole like we're gonna invade Canada or Canada's gonna be part of the U.S. I mean, I don't think that's anything other than a troll. So I don't know how like serious anyone should consider that.
Well, I think he actually means it. I think he's just like his brain is full of like Swiss hole cheeses. Like Swiss cheese holes, like Trump's fucked at this point. He doesn't have the same kind of like slow doddering fall over dementia the way that Joe Biden has, but he has the kind of like great uncle rambles way too long at parties dementia. Like that's where Trump is right now.
Regardless of whether Trump actually means it, whether it's a troll or whether he actually means it, I mean, we all know it's not going to materialize. It's not going to be like a real policy position.
I mean, probably not. Probably not. I can't see Trump actually like sending the military into Canada to secure it and bring it into the United States. Like, though then again, like the amount of stuff that Trump has done and the right wing hasn't turned on him yet. I think he could do anything at this point, and he'd still have like Owen Schroyer being like, "Yes, you're my king, Trump." Like Trump could just like rape a baby in fucking like Times Square, just rape a baby in front of all the fucking cameras, and people be like, "Yes, King, absolutely, we're on your side."
That's so wrong-headed because
I don't agree unless it was an immigrant baby.
Well, no,
I'm just kidding.
He wants to talk about how he did the COVID vaccine and take credit for that, and everyone's like, "Boo! Fuck you!" How does that? That doesn't line up with what you're saying.
If you go and look at the White House page on that, like he said, like he simultaneously on that page takes responsibility for Operation Warp Speed, but he also says that like the COVID vaccine doesn't work. Have you seen this yet? The contradiction on the White House page on this?
No.
I haven't, no.
It's fucking wild because he takes credit for a vaccine, then later on the same page is like, yeah, the vaccine doesn't work, and it's like holy fuck, dude. Like, do you guys even read this shit, or does everyone just swallow this uncritically?
Your argument though is that Trump supporters will let him do anything or get away with anything. And
I do think
saying
there's a lot of them that will,
he
yes.
tries to take credit for the COVID stuff, and since they don't like the COVID stuff, they are completely against him. So I don't see how you could say he could do something terrible and they would not just spit on him.
Let me build a bridge here. Okay. I don't think
no bridge building here.
I don't think Trump could literally rape a baby and people be happy about it. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
No
just
more
to be
baby.
clear, that was hyperbole for comedic purposes.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
it's
sure.
a comedy show.
It was joking because nobody bought it. So now you're like, where's this joke?
There you go. There you go. It's a post irony. No. So Trump obviously has, I would argue, at least my entire life, has more political capital with his base and his supporters to do things that I've never seen any other president could get away with. So he definitely has a lot more leeway to do a lot more than any president I've ever witnessed and probably will ever witness. And there are some supporters of his that would literally jump, not just as a troll, not just a meme, but would actually be in favor of America using the military to invade Greenland or Canada or something like that. Now, I do think if he did do something like that, I do think the majority of people on the right would not support and would turn against Trump invading Canada with military force. So I understand what you're saying. I think he has more pliability or more flexibility with his base than any president, but it's not infinite.
It's not. There you go. Okay.
It's not, well, obviously there's a breaking point. He couldn't just say, well, we're going to have open borders now and let all the immigrants in because he felt like it.
Right.
So here, let me put it this way.
Listen, they'll vote Republican.
If Trump actually did like send the troops into Canada, do you think that American public opinion would largely turn on him? Do you think that Congress would vote to impeach him? Like what do you think would happen? Like what would be the actual real life blowback?
If Trump tried to invade Canada
into Canada for what?
Yes.
I think he would get impeached,
to take over.
Yeah.
You think
I think he will.
You think that's going to happen?
No. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I think I'm gonna. I'm not saying that.
Trump is not stupid.
Listen. I'm not saying I think it will happen. I'm saying if it does happen, how do you think Republicans in the United States would respond? I don't think they would impeach him. I actually don't think they would.
I think the majority of Republicans would, unless there was some like weird framing that like something crazy happened, like in our current environment, I think the overwhelming majority of Republicans would be completely against that, and I do think you get impeached.
Yeah,
Fair
they
enough.
stood up against him on January 6th. They changed over time as he amassed political power, and it seemed like the sentiment of the country was with him. But on January 6th, there was a lot of Republicans. Most Republicans were against the January 6th stuff. Even old Mitch McConnell came out and castigated him on the floor of the Senate. So
Yeah,
if that happened, if he invaded Canada, the same exact thing would happen. And they would all hope that public sentiment would go their way.
See, I don't think so because the neocons have largely been routed. It's 5 years on now. Like there's like Mitch McConnell. No one gives a fuck about Mitch McConnell anymore.
Is
No one cares
invading
about the
Canada
neocons.
worse than January 6th?
I mean, for me it is. Man,
For Americans.
probably. For Americans, I think probably yes. Yeah.
Yes, invading most of the Trump supporters want us to be isolationists. They don't want us to invade other countries.
Yeah,
Invading our
I
neighbor?
know that I've heard that too, but like I keep seeing people who they just completely contradict themselves and they don't give a fuck. And I'm like, dude, this is not what you said 6 months ago. And they're like,
these
I
are
don't
people
care.
though. They're not the political leaders. So obviously there would be people that would be like, based, we're invading Canada. Yeah, go. But I think they'd be the tiny minority.
I'm not sure if they'd be the tiny minority or the huge majority, but I do think that even if they objected, there'd be a whole bunch of people who didn't like it, but they would shut the fuck up because they would understand that if they go against Trump, the God Emperor, they get their careers fucking destroyed like every other Republican who's gone against him.
Yeah, I don't know. They would do the calculus.
I don't think they're that rational, man.
They
I
would
don't think
say
they're that
this
rational.
is. They would say this is too far. Me,
I-
I would
I-
say, oh, this is terrible. This is way too far. But secretly, I'd be like, yes, based.
Well, no, like anytime you have a Republican who, like a lawmaker, like someone who's not just like a random, like a Republican come out and say, "Hey, I think Trump's not shouldn't be doing this," he gets destroyed. Like not only is he like lambasted by just the right wing media and like right wing people on the ground, but like, he gets like primaried out. Like he's gone the next term. And, like for a long time, like Dan Crenshaw was a darling of the right. He's fucking gone because he critiqued Trump. Like there's so many examples of this happening of people just getting completely fucked because Trump is like, nope, he's I'm now wearing the skin suit of the Republican Party. Like MAGA now controls this bitch. That guy there, he's not getting in line. Primary him out. Get him out of there. Get a MAGA loyalist in there. Happens all the time. So
Yeah, but not for invading Canada though. That's like a categorically different situation.
I think a lot of the loyalists would be on board. They'd be like, yes, Trump, you will do whatever you want.
Right.
We will listen. We will pass any bill you want us to pass. We will repeat anything you want us to repeat on social media or on the news. You want to fuck my wife? Go ahead. Come on in. He'll do anything.
Oh, please. Come on now. Anyway, Sitch, we have you said you had to go. Are we? How are we
I
doing
do
on
have to
Super
go soon,
Chats?
yes. SP Elite for 2 hours says, LOL, Carney has China wiener down his mouth. I don't know
That's
what
not
that means.
quite true. That's not
Okay.
quite true.
Really?
He's the new
Mr.
Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Mr. Ubercross for $10 says, people seem to forget that pretty much every gorilla they've ever seen in real life was captured by fewer than 100 men. That is a good point. Though I'm assuming
yeah.
they like captured it with, tools or something, right? They just could like grab it with their bare hands or like put a sack on it. Ace for $5 says, guys, jihadist lover Noah Sampson made a new video. I see. Do a takedown of it. Well, check it out. Definitely check it out.
Maybe Sunday. That might be
Right.
fun.
There's that philosophy video we might do on Sunday that was like, oh my God, so cringe.
People can't take another week of Hassan. We're
not going to do Hassan. It was the Professor Dave. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah. The
that
trans
video
video
is crazy. Yes.
Yeah, it is insane.
Ace for $10 says, I've no doubt low IQ Sampson will defend Hassan's performance in this debate about Ethan. Sampson has all the time to call Jonah Hill an abuser, but denies mass rapes on October 7th. Actually, subhuman. Oh, right. Because the Noah Sampson video.
Oh, you're right. We covered that.
We covered one of them. Yeah, we should.
No, we covered the Jonah Hill, him calling Jonah Hill.
We did. We should probably take a break from Hassan for at least 1 week.
it's so demoralizing to see him break through. If he breaks through the mainstream, if he becomes as big as AOC or something like that, please just kill me now.
Right.
Put me out of my misery.
C.S. Paffy for $20. Thanks so much. Says, I love forgiveness, but I hate apologies. In my experience, forgiving people forgive regardless of it. There's an apology, and unforgiving people don't forgive. The apology is just a public flogging ritual, and it should
Yep.
end.
Good point.
I don't know if I agree with that.
No, you have to agree, Sitch.
I don't know
if you don't agree, you're wrong.
I mean, I agree that forgiving people will forgive and unforgiving people won't.
Right.
But I do feel that a lot of people will feel like there's a slight or respect. I mean, it is a very more honor culture thing, but like there's a slight on respect that can't be alleviated unless they feel like the other person acknowledges it and acknowledges that they did something wrong.
Don't you think dignity culture is better, Sitch?
It is better. I'm just telling you how it goes. But then over 100 knock knocks says, I tried watching the D&D campaign, but had to stop after that's what you're talking about. Sargon ruled a nat 20 as being too strong when Rags was trying to help some people and accidentally killed them because of it. That was the hobo situation.
Yep.
Listen, Adam, if you, I'm going to be like Kanye. If you get my follower count off by 1 million, I'm ditching the interview. I'm leaving the show. Okay. How dare you disrespect me?
What did I do?
Kanye.
I have to apologize for that? I'm not.
You gotta apologize for that.
I'm not apologizing for that.
Apologize.
You fucking egomaniac.
The real alternative for 9 months says, and did you forgive him, Dev? I think you said you did.
No, he obviously didn't. Otherwise, he wouldn't be bringing it up. So,
okay.
Sorry, what?
I don't know. Did you forgive?
He's asking if you forgave Carl.
Oh, yeah. I was we buried the hatchet. Yes.
Okay, good.
Love it or hate it. 127 says, why not have D&D and WoW at the same time? D&D and Azeroth. I've never
Can
done
you
the
even
RP
do
servers.
that? You can't do that.
Well, you can't do that, but there are servers in WoW that are like you're supposed to role play. I've never done any of that, but
Oh, really?
that person you're talking to in chat is like a retard. I don't know why you're even interacting with them.
Because
They're like-
listen. I love
They,
fighting.
they
with,
were
like,
mad
fucking
at me.
everyone.
They
Let's
were
go.
like, even though I disagreed with your Trump take, they were like blaming me for like, how dare you platform dev? I'm like, oh, that's so cringe, really? So rat.
cancel culture, guys. it's
Yes.
gone
How
too
dare you
far.
platform dev on your show, you monster? I'm like, all right.
Now, one thing that I've kind of discovered about myself is that I like just rolling in the mud and getting into fights with people. It's like,
Okay,
you're a
that's fair
retard. Let's
enough.
fucking go. Let's go.
Okay. If you like it.
Don't call
Other
our
ho-
fans retards. What are you guys doing? Terrible.
Listen.
Well,
Everyone that disagrees with me is a retard, obviously.
yep, based.
Yeah.
The real Haltonator for $5 says, "Oh my
Very
God, me and Adam
immature
need to be in the same campaign, and then Dev and Sitch need to spend the entire session shopping." That sounds horrible. Oh my God, I hate long shopping
Is V a hobo killer too?
campaigns. Sounds
yeah,
like
for
it.
sure.
CS Pappy
He's
for
like a
$5.
chaos goblin whenever we play tabletop.
CS Pappy for $5 says, "Screw JMac, let me DM. My world also has laws, but I'm willing to look the other way." There you go.
Nice.
You can pay Pappy under the table.
I like flexible laws.
Flexible morality. JMac, thanks so much for Circuit Father. Daddy JMac for the $20. Says, I've had several people say they love my GM style. I'm an arbiter, a referee. My duty is to facilitate play for the best experiences. I'm a fan of random tables as well. Keeps people on their toes. See, I think that's the correct
we'll do it. We
mentality to
need-
have. Yeah.
Look, I have more time now. We just have to set a time. Actually, I think Sitch is the one that's running more into time issues now. Now that the comic's done, I have lots of time.
Wait, listen,
So-
I'm totally down to do a D&D session with Jay.
All right,
He's a-
cool. We'll do it
That's
then.
something up.
Once a
See,
week,
it's Pat-
stream it, get some super chats.
Well, let's
the way.
just do maybe set a date next week or the week after, and
We'll see how
go
before we
from
commit
there,
to
yeah.
once a week. Let's see how it goes once. All right.
Exactly.
see,
You
it's-
might kill my character.
Right. CS Pappy for $5 says, everyone says I'm a better GM than Jay.
Oh my god, that's a fight.
Everyone says I'm a better GM than Jay. People say I'm the best at almost killing players and letting them live at the last minute. There you go. Look
Oh,
at that.
that's always
Pappy's
good.
really he really wants in here.
When you've got the player crying, "Oh no, my character,"
Right.
and then suddenly,
Maybe listen, maybe we'll have like a GM competition. Okay. We'll have Jay do one, we'll have Pappy do one. We'll see who
Oh,
does it better.
wow.
Right? Have like a fight.
have the audience decide. We can do
The
a
audience
poll.
will decide. Yeah. Jason M for 5 Canadian says, I run a D&D campaign with a supernatural horror theme. I was partly inspired by Sargon's campaign when Dev had a monk PC. You guys should do it. Definitely.
Sounds fun.
Oh yeah, my
Our-
obese monk. Yeah, he's a fat black man.
There you go. Oh, God. Our hills are for $5. Oh, thank you. Says you need a character in the D&D campaign that will get possessed by a spirit magic and say whatever the $200 super chat says. That would be funny. That would be funny if there's a character who's just they're the possessed by the chat. Like
Oh,
chat
that would
control.
be good.
That would be a very chaos factor. Chat controls like one person.
Twitch
Okay.
plays D&D.
Yes. Steel Manning for $5 says Sargon made a great video recently arguing to make motherhood a higher status position in society again. I do agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, we have to
100%.
do that.
Yes, we do. The Mongolian Leprechaun Superman from Saturn for $10. Thank you. Says, final question. Have any of you guys played Azet, the Jewel of Fairmore? It's a game inspired by the Zelda CDI game, and it's really fun and good. I definitely recommend it.
I have not.
It sounds awesome though.
I
I love the Zelda CDI games.
No, I've not played those games either. That Zelda game. Mike Mills for $10 says, thoughts on South Africa refugee situation feels like a racial political bias. If they're also deporting refugees from other country, what happened to first safe country and America first? LOL. I have zero problem letting in South African refugees who are fleeing from racial discrimination. I saw something that said like there wasn't racial discrimination against them, but then I saw like the official statement from the government that made it sound like they were discriminating against white South Africans. I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of fucking crazy. I was like, okay, like, yeah, sure, let them in. So I have zero problem with them letting them in, but I do agree it does seem kind of racist or weird if you're like, well, we're going to let the white South Africans in, but we're not going to let in like the people that, the Afghans that helped the U.S. Army and things like that. That seems kind of fucked up and a little racist.
It does seem like the script's been completely flipped 180 now, right? Because you have right wingers who are going back. They're like, oh no, we'll open the borders. Actually, first safe country, don't worry about it. Come on in, no problem. Come on in. And then you have left wingers who are like, no, we can't have open borders. No, it's fine. No more refugees. And it's like, okay, guys, like both of you are fucking retarded here.
Yeah, so much of it is. Well, first of all, I want to say, even though I'm assuming the Trump administration is doing it not for race reasons, I'm assuming they're doing it because Elon has wanted to do it. I'm guessing that was the actual reason. But so much of the way that everything works in politics, unfortunately, is just like, what is the other side doing? I'm going to be against it. So
Yeah.
if they're letting in, if the right's letting in some immigrants, the left's going to be against it. If the left wants to let in some immigrants, the right's going to be against it, and that's just sort of fortunately the way it goes.
Yeah, it's the most infuriating fucking thing because when it like going all the way back to Gamergate, that's been my primary objection when I've been critiquing left-wing people. It's like, look at the hypocrisy. Look at what you're doing. You're not holding to any of your principles. This is fucking ridiculous. Why are you treating people this way? And now to see the right do it, I'm just like,
Right.
I'm so doom-pilled on politics, man.
That's also true. People are saying like it's literally only like 50, 60 people. But I'm assuming, I don't know how many white South Africans there are. Is it a blanket acceptance of all white South Africans, or is it only this very, very limited number? Because I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know the answer to that either.
Steel Manning for $2 says Trump doesn't have dementia. He's just a New Yorker. Bam! Shots fired at New York. Look at that.
I bought that 10 years ago. I'm not sure I buy it now. You go back and listen to him in 2016. He was funny. He was snappy. He was doing all these great jokes and stuff. And now he's like, I don't know.
I don't think he has dementia.
You're going down
I think
the David Pakman route. No,
I don't think he has dementia. He's just old. I mean, he's almost 80 years old. Like,
I think he's just
gonna slow down.
I think maybe he made out with RFK one too many times. Transferred
You got
some
the
brainworms
brainworms
over.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. That makes sense. Val Van Gogh for $5 says Canada's actual sovereignty is minimal. A country with some economic sway, but no nukes. Enjoy your kayfabe.
Oh yeah, that's a great response.
Jesus, that is like the Moldbug view of sovereignty. Let's bring him back, guys. It's time for another Moldbug stream.
No.
Oh my God, I'm gonna kick you, Dave.
He's even more relevant now.
I know, it's
Vance is
unfortunate.
getting in there.
He's even more relevant. Determinatus for $5 says, Adam, name one person for whom Trump touting warp speed was what caused them to turn on him. I don't think. Well, you can answer if you. But
well, he would do it in front of crowds, and crowds would boo him. So
right.
I mean, I can't necessarily name a person.
I don't think your argument was that people turned on Trump. You're saying that Trump couldn't sell it to his base.
Sure.
Is what your argument was,
yes.
right?
Yeah. They weren't going to enthusiastically endorse warp speed.
Yeah, as I said, I think what I said, because I said it, is the smartest. Okay. Trump has more flexibility, pliability to push things than any other president before, but it's not infinite. There is a breaking point. I think you'd agree with that, Dev. Like Trump couldn't be like, I'm going to open the doors to Mexican immigration now, right? Like, his base won't answer that.
Listen, the breaking point is raping 3 babies, okay?
Does his
he
base...
could do 2, he could not do 3.
Okay.
Does his base want him to invade foreign countries? It seems like they're against that in the same way they're against illegal immigration.
See, I agree with you, but if I think if Trump came out and said we're unironically going to go invade Greenland now, we're getting guys in the boats, we're getting ready, we're going over there, I think his base would just turn. They just flip. It'd be the 1984 moment where the government changes the banners right in the middle of the speech and no one cares. They just keep on going with it.
That's a tough sell.
Steel Manning for $2 says invade Canada to kick Dev. There you go.
Hey, by the way, listen. If you guys actually invaded Canada and we became a state, and I was now like an American citizen, that'd actually be great for me. I just moved south. Fuck it. But
we wouldn't. Yeah, if we invaded Canada and took it over, and I mean, we couldn't make it a state because if we did, they'd all vote Democrat. So it'd kind of be like a completely defeating process.
I think Trump. Someone actually said that to Trump, and he was like, "I'm okay with that." It's like, okay,
sure. Interesting.
Would you be fucked if you were in America though? You said you had a family member that has some kind of health issue. I'm assuming you're using the Canadian healthcare system.
I think because like some states do have like healthcare for their state. I'm sure the Canadian state would still have its healthcare.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you'd go back home for health care, but you'd be an
Well,
American
it wouldn't matter to
citizen.
me. I'm relatively healthy. I'm fine.
Right.
Right. JMac or Circuit 4, thanks so much, Daddy JMac, for the $50. Says, I think Dev is judging Trump's base off of Twitter, which is not a good metric for general sentiment, even amongst political enclaves. My GPA donates millions to Trump. Well, my grandpa donates millions to Trump's, but even he has said the tariffs were stupid. If the economy fails, people will turn.
Yeah,
you
he
could,
caved on the economy.
you could see it seemed like people were definitely turning on Trump on the whole tariff situation until
That's a great
that's why
point.
he had the cave, and then the people were like, oh.
I don't think that was the reason why he caved, but I get your point. Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you think he caved?
Because Canada, Europe, and Japan started selling off American bonds.
Yeah, because the economy started.
Right, the bond markets are crashing.
They slapped him.
No. We
The
caused
market
the bond
slapped him.
Yeah,
we
I understand.
caused the market to crash though. Like that's
No. But the point is like, yes, the foreign countries by selling off bonds started to make the bond market crash. But then in America, that's going to create economic pressure among his supporters to say, oh my God, like, look what you're going to fuck everything up.
Yeah, so he caved.
Or the fear that he's going to fuck everything up. And
What
destroy
happened
his
to all this
legacy
baby fucking?
would be
He should have just said, look. He should have said, I fuck your 401k. What happened? What happened?
Listen, okay, here. You know what?
What happened? No. What happened, Dev?
You know what?
What
Here,
happened?
I'll walk it back. He's gonna have to like push in slowly at first. All right.
You're saying he went too fast. He fucked over the
Yes.
economy too quickly.
Yep.
That's why he had
Yep.
to cave.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
it's got to be slower, baby fucking.
That is
You gotta,
true.
like-
I agree with
Dev did.
J-Mac.
I mean, Trump did try to fuck the economy with no lube very quickly. So
yes,
that is a good point.
It didn't work.
Didn't
well,
work.
some of us knew. Some of us knew this would turn around pretty quick.
Yes. SB Elite for $5 says Carney gonna bring the PLA into Canada like Trudeau did once for training, and then that's when we'll go in. We need a super Alaska, to be honest.
I don't think
Okay.
Carney will do that. Like Carney. Okay, so Justin Trudeau was very much like a. Okay, hold on.
I gotta go, Dev. Let's just say
Sorry,
yes or no.
sorry.
Just say yes
Just-
or no.
No, here. This would be my last blurb. Okay.
Okay.
So just hear me out.
Yes.
Every single time you hear like dipshit right wingers on Twitter strawman what the American left is,
Mhm.
that's what Justin Trudeau actually was in reality.
Wow.
He was all of
okay.
those things. He was in fact the woke progressive nightmare that
Mhm.
destroyed the economy because it virtue signaled better to other woke people. He was one of the worst prime ministers we've ever had, in my opinion. But Carney's not that. Carney is like a neo-lib banker who's like worked in the finance sector his entire life. He's a completely different kind of guy. He's not woke. He's still like a liberal. He's still in the Liberal Party. So I do not believe for a second Carney would actually do any of the shit, the actually monstrous stuff that Trudeau's done, including having the People's Liberation Army on the American border. Not going to happen this time around.
Okay. JMac for $10. Thank you so much. Says CS Paffy is a dirty, dirty dice fudger. Wow. Look at that
Wow.
accusation. He's fudging the dice. Says Paffy responds for $2. Says, true, I fudged the dice to make the players have fun. Ooh, he just did a Chad yes on that. Okay. That's a good retort. The real wholesale for $5 says, Dev, every state has a public healthcare option. You just need to pay for it if you're above a certain income.
Oh, is that true in the States? Didn't know that.
It's sort of true. It's not true the way that Canadian healthcare works exactly, but I understand what they're saying. Everything that's for $2 says, this is pain. Why are we watching this? Because it's fun. It's fun to watch the train wreck. Okay.
It's cringe. Come on.
Dr. Diller for $2 says something nobody's considering in the Man vs. Gorilla is sticks. Give me 3 hours and some rocks and trees, and we'll have spears like the good old days. Also, humans are the best equipped animal for prolonged combat. I'm assuming that people, when they talk about the 100 men versus a gorilla, they mean no weapons. Because yeah, obviously, you could use like sticks and spears and shit. You know, it'd be pretty simple. But well, not simple, but it would be significantly easier. Dr. for $2 says a lot of the Euro right has their brains rot out of their skulls because they don't have speech laws and their government sucks. Not going to dismantle our system if government because your little sandpit turned into mud. True. So fucking true. Anyways.
All right. That was great. Great stream. Thanks for coming on, Dev.
Yep.
You
no
enjoy
problem.
whatever you're
It's good
doing.
to see-
And
it's good
Always
seeing you
enjoy
guys again.
talking to Dev. Always enjoy hearing about the baby sexual assault violence. Maybe we'll do it. We should do it. Try to.
Was that
do-
too far for this channel?
No, I think it's. Listen. I think it's funny,
Here.
but
Okay.
we'll try to do a D&D stream. And we'll see what happens.
yeah, we'll set something up.
Yes,
Awesome.
it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody. Bye. See you Sunday.
Bye.
See ya.